Monaco Pizza presents STP. The Steve Dangle Podcast with your hosts, Steve Dangle and Adam Wilde.
So we were going to have Mikhail Grabovski on the show. But unfortunately, Mikhail's out of the country right now, and we couldn't line it up technologically.
See, not just out of the country. He's in Belarus.
Yeah. He's at home. He's
a long way.
Other home. But after that really nice thing he put out, that really touching thing about, still missing Toronto, some of our fans, including Casual Mats, reached out to him and was like, hey, you should go on the Steve Dangle podcast. And I tweeted him like, hey, man, you available at 2 o'clock this afternoon? And he was.
He had agreed to come on the podcast before I even knew, like, he said anything or you said anything.
And then I couldn't, there was no technological way to do it. So we're going to try to find it and maybe do it next week.
Yeah. His video was so touching. When he said,
was.
Where am I? I'm in Belarus, standing with the farmers. Sorry, South Park reference. Thought I'd get it out of the way very fast. Mikhail Grabovski, the best player in Belarus history. He's a very good player for Belarus.
Belarus.
Yeah. Him and the Kostitsins, but he didn't get along with them. There was a little bit of friction between some of the stars of Belarus. Sorry.
We've partnered with Crown Royal.
We have.
And we have to award a crown.
Hold on. We have?
Yeah, I know, right? New news. It's total news. But I think the crown today is the one that we have to award because it is so touching. Robin Lehner's speech last night was something else at the NHL Awards. Have you heard it? His Masterton speech?
Yes. I'm not going to give it to him.
Whoa. What? No, you have to give it to him.
Nope, I don't.
Hold on, let me play this speech. Let me play this part of the speech, and then Steve can explain to you why Robin Lehner doesn't get the crown. Are you kidding me?
Doesn't.
I took that.
Jesse, why are you crying?
That's the funniest thing that's ever happened.
All right, I'm gonna play it. It's just the volume's a little low in here, but we'll up it in post. Wow, man.
Yeah, I don't have headphones either.
Yeah.
Well, let me just play it. Did you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to play it for people that haven't.
That's great!
Let me take 45 seconds and do that.
But we can't listen to it.
Okay, well then, here, you listen to it. No, F it. I'm playing it and you don't even get to listen.
Fine, great.
We're just
Play
gonna
it,
stay
shut up.
here.
Yeah, you just let me know when it's done.
I'm not ashamed to say I'm mentally ill, but that doesn't mean mentally weak.
Round of applause. Round of applause. Keep going. Keep going. This speech is amazing.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Not afraid to say I'm mentally ill, but that doesn't mean mentally weak. Robin Lehner,
Amen.
the Steve Dangle Podcast crown, except for Steve.
No. That's not because I don't like it.
It
was a great speech.
I am curious, so curious to find out who's better. Who deserves it more than that?
I just looked at it like there's 3 of us, and to me, I thought there were 3 worthy people from the NHL Awards. Not diminishing. I probably would put him at the top, but there's 3 of us, and you picked him first. So I guess I go to number 2.
I thought we would just pick one, man.
All right.
I think we'd just be unified in the crown.
We all get a crown.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you don't give it to Robin Lehner,
You're kind of an asshole.
what's wrong with you?
Okay, fine. How about there's like a king, queen, and a jack?
No, I think Robin Lehner just deserves
Fine,
it.
Robin Lehner wins. Honorable mention, I believe, goes to Carey Price.
Mm-hmm.
Extremely.
yeah.
I cried when I saw the video. And Elias Pettersson for his shout out to Jason Botchford. I thought was worthy. I thought both of those were also worthy of a crown.
Okay.
So since I get 3 crowns,
all right.
that's how this works. Robin Lehner, Carey Price, Elias Pettersson.
I believe when Adam said Robin Lehner gets a crown, you said no.
Yeah, that's what he did say. To be fair, he said that.
Did I?
To be fair, you said that.
Good start.
Hey, when you're watching a draft, I'm not saying which draft, but if you happen to watch a draft this weekend, if you happen to be at a draft with Cliff Fletcher, maybe consider drinking a Crown Royal because Cliff won't be drinking draft. That's for sure.
No, never. He's holding a glass in his hand and he's putting it to his lips and, oh, you excited for the draft? Just crushes the glass in his hand. What? Loses his mind. Gets pissed. Cliff Fletcher on the edge. Yes, Adam?
That's why they call him Cliff. He's just always living on the edge.
They call him the mountain goat.
We're going to start today with a non-hockey thing that's just broken in the last hour.
Yeah.
Oh, so that means I've missed it.
The Tampa Bay Rays.
Okay.
Tampa Bay Rays. What do you know about the Tampa Bay Rays?
They have one fan who sits very close to the microphone. There's one. And he shouts things. And like the other Florida team, nobody goes to their games. Wait, no. Do people go to Marlins games? What color are Rays jerseys these days? Are they the team that they randomly added orange and there's like a carnival in the middle of the field?
That's the Marlins. That's the Marlins, the ones with the art piece.
Because they're the Miami Marlins now.
Yes, and they're not allowed to move the art piece because it's classified as art. So they can't modify it, which is one of the most hilarious things.
They can't move the actual exhibition, like random carnival from Bowmanville art piece they have in the middle of the field. Okay, so the Rays are the more stable Florida team.
No.
Okay, Jesse, how would you describe the Tampa Bay Devil Rays to an awful person, someone who wouldn't give the crown to, say, I don't know, Robin Lehner?
Yes.
They are a baseball team that no one really cares about.
But always beat the Jays.
They do always beat the Jays.
Even when the Jays were good.
There's something weird going on there.
Yeah.
They usually always beat the Jays. Yeah.
It's like the Leafs and Sabres.
But yeah, when they make the playoffs, they barely sell out. During the regular season, they set the all-time lowest attendance record earlier this year. I think it was just around 5,000 fans, or just under. Yeah, it was just under 5,000 fans.
They, like in the 1800s and stuff.
Yeah. Well, they didn't keep an attendance record, Steve.
Sure, they did. Oh, we have about tickety-2 people.
I believe they broke their own record with that number.
How many score people came to the Brooklyn Dodgers game? Okay. So no one goes to their games. That's what I know about them.
But they've been good.
Yes.
Throughout, they were terrible for the beginning of their franchise, and then they got good a little because the rebuild worked. They trusted the process, and after about 10 years, they had a good playoff run. They went to a couple World Series, lost.
Oh,
but they did, but they had some good players.
They had some good players. Eric Hinsky was on one of those teams.
That's right. After he was a J and got shouted at by that one fan.
We got David Price from them. He was one of their stars.
Did we?
Yeah, that's where David Price came from.
Personally.
Yeah, as a show.
As a show.
Do you remember when we had 4 members?
Yeah.
And David Price was one of them, and then he was like, I'm going to take my butt to Boston and make $800 million to pitch poorly.
Jerk.
Yeah. Anyways, they're an interesting franchise, and they probably shouldn't be in Tampa anymore.
Because no one goes.
Because no one goes, and what's the point of playing a game that no one watches?
Great question, Jesse. It's a very good question.
So they've explored and got permission, to explore potentially playing half the season in Montreal.
What?
So they will be the first two-team franchise, two-city franchise. So they'd play the beginning of the season, the first half in Tampa, and they'd play the second half in Montreal. That's what they're proposing right now.
Words cannot describe how trash that team is going to be if you make them play essentially every game on the road.
Well,
That's 162
What
road
free
games.
agent signs there?
Literally nobody.
Like, you can't,
Yeah.
right? And then now they're super into, like, the hardcore sabermetric stuff, right? They're the type of team, they're like, we're not even going to have starters. We're just going to have pitchers. And
Tampa. Yeah, last year they did the interesting thing about they have a relief pitcher start the game.
And how'd that go?
It was okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
It was okay,
It was
yeah.
a cool experiment for sure. Somebody
Yeah.
has to try it eventually.
Well, and really, it's not... Baseball people act like, oh my God! It's like,
Yeah.
okay, so the same thing happens in the playoffs.
Well, baseball's like, I don't know, maybe we shouldn't have them wear cotton pants anymore. What? Are you out of your mind?
they're like trying to convince Cliff Fletcher to draft somebody.
Basically,
You know,
yes.
it's just not going to happen.
It's like telling Americans about dollar coins.
But one thing that baseball loves to do is make money.
yes,
And one thing Montreal needs is a baseball team.
Yes.
And I wonder if they're doing the exploration so they can say to Major League Baseball, listen, it's been 3 years. We've played half the season in Tampa, half the season in Montreal. We're finding that the crowds in Montreal are selling out because they would. And we're thinking that maybe it might be good to just move the franchise to Montreal. And Major League Baseball is going to say, well, the TV rights thing is a bit of an issue for us. But if that's the problem, right? That's why that's why there isn't this huge appetite to put a team back in Montreal is the TV rights because Montreal's just a weird market in terms of advertising. And not to get too technical here, but the French-English thing in Montreal, which is a dead split,
it's a big deal.
It makes a big difference. Now, Quebec has, as a province, its own ecosystem of celebrities, talk shows, pop stars who are massive. Millionaires, like it's its own nation. There's no question.
It's not its own country, but like it kind of is.
It is. Yeah. I mean, look, as we describe it in Canada, it's its own nation within Canada, right?
Yes.
And so the problem becomes they don't count French and English ratings together. They count them separately. So where Montreal might actually have, say 1 million people watch the game, but 600,000 of them are Francophone, then the English ratings will be 400,000 people, which is still relatively good by Canadian standards, but at American standards, not very good.
No,
so
it's terrible. But who's watching the race?
Well, exactly.
It's got to be less
so
than that.
It's possible that even with that split, it could still be better.
Wow.
So it's a very, very interesting thought, and I think that they're doing this to kind of dip their toe in the water. Like, this franchise in Tampa has never worked. We've had some good years, we've had some good players, but this has just never worked. There's just not the interest. Or they've done a shitty job reaching out to the community because the Lightning work.
Yeah,
and the Buccaneers work.
The Lightning work, no problem.
The Lightning are great. Anyway, I think it's kind of interesting.
And this is after Barkov last night. Well, I know a different part of Florida, but you see what he said?
What did he say?
He said that there were more fans from Finland in Vegas for the NHL Awards than there were fans from Florida.
Ooh. What do you think? Was he like? I mean, obviously, it's probably his sense of humor. He's probably pretty dry.
It's funny.
For sure.
I think it's funny.
It's a shame, though, isn't it? Especially with a guy who's as talented as he is. Like, you're missing out, man.
Oh, for sure. It took one game this season against the Leafs for everyone to be like, wait a sec, Barkov's good. That's weird because the last time he was mentioned on national television was like 4 years ago when Don Cherry said he was bad.
Did Don Cherry say he was bad?
He shouldn't have been picked second overall. He was the second overall pick.
Steve.
Yes.
Question for you.
Answer.
So on May 29th, 2019, the Tampa Bay Rays played the Toronto Blue Jays.
Yes.
They drew a crowd
30,000.
5,786. This is their lowest all-time record. Do you think if we did a podcast event and promoted the hell out of it, that we could draw 5,787 fans?
Well,
if we had
couldn't
get together.
charge for it. That's the thing. If we did a free one, we'd stand a chance.
Okay.
What if?
What?
What if we did $5?
What if we did $5 and we agreed to donate it to a good cause?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're moving the goalposts. Like, listen, I'm down for that idea.
Dude, we're not a professional sports franchise, right?
No.
So our goalposts are going to be different than their goalposts.
Right.
But we're also not a national brand like they are. So if we could get 5,000, what is it, 700?
787 would be
5,787. First off, where?
Could we mostly fill Ricoh Coliseum?
That's what it would be, ish.
Yeah.
Or the Tribute Center in Oshawa, a.k.a.
Can it hold
the GM
like
Center?
6,000
I think we'd have a better
I think
shot
so.
at Ricoh because Ricoh's more central.
You want to
It's
do
Toronto,
Toronto. Yeah. Tampa Bay also 5 times this season, they had $5 ticket night, and they had 5,000 seats that are only $5, and only twice did they sell out all 5,000 of those $5 seats.
So they do have $5
So
ticket
they have
nights.
$5 ticket nights.
So this isn't moving the goalposts then.
Are we doing this?
Well, we'd have to get a venue.
We could do it. But we need to brand it as, hey, Let's try and outsell the Tampa Bay Rays.
Do we want to talk about the idea you had today?
Oh, well, sure. Sorry. The first thing I was going to say, okay, we need more than one podcast, right, to show up.
No.
No?
No, ours is fine.
It's just ours.
It can't be Tampa Bay Rays and the Florida Marlins. It's the Steve Dangle Podcast.
Okay,
we
but
can have
opening
we can have
for
an
us?
opening act.
Or
We
maybe
have an opening act?
Either opening or closing
It's a
for
show.
us.
We can have an opening act.
Oh, that could be fun.
Yeah.
We could have
Okay, so I thought
We'll bring
like,
on,
okay, I
we'll
thought
bring
you
on
said
Merrick or something. That'd be cool.
Merrick to open for us. Can you
okay,
imagine?
yeah,
Open
Merrick.
for us, you know?
Yeah, I'm sure Merrick's like, sure, I want to open for those bozos.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So it's like Metallica opening for Guns N' Roses. Like no one cares about Guns N' Roses after. We could get Protest the Hero to play there.
Could we?
Yeah.
Are you just riffing? Do you know
don't
that?
mix-
Don't
I
sign
know
them up
that.
for
No.
that.
No, it's
Don't-
always a bad idea to mix music and talking.
Is it?
Oh, you
yeah.
think?
Whenever comedians do it, it's always like, all right, the music was better than you.
Yeah, it's
they're
very
they're
rare.
actually talented. You just can talk.
Because we could ask the Born
Wow.
Ruffians too, but I don't know
No,
if they'd
they're
be down.
better
Yo,
than
we
us.
could get
Yeah.
Protest the Hero
Born
and Born
Ruffians.
Ruffians.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't want them to just show up and do their thing. They're actually talented. They can play instruments.
What if we opened? Okay. Yo, we could do this.
Okay,
Also, the idea we talked about. No, should we? No. I want to make a Steve Dangle Podcast scholarship.
I guess we're talking about it.
I guess we're talking about it.
And this is something I've talked about with a few radio stations too. I've always wanted to do like
Yeah.
a scholarship giveaway thing. It would be kind of fun to do, and then like we start it in August or something and go for a full year, and then we could award multiple scholarships or something.
Yeah, I want to do it. It's hard out there for students. Our premier doesn't give a shit. So there's a lot of issues at hand, but yeah, I want to do a scholarship.
SAP.
Help people out. SD Pep. We'll figure it out.
I just changed Ontario to Steve.
Yeah.
So it would be Steve Sap.
Steve Sapp. Yes. Let's stick with that. Really selling it here, folks. Really selling it here. We're ambitious.
I don't know what we'll call it. This is
We'll
all,
get Protesting Hero to
it's
play
SAP.
for our scholarship.
What can we do?
And Born Ruffians.
So the Born Ruffians.
and Socrates. I'm going to
Socrates?
walk down the street.
Didn't you meet Maestro Fresh West at one point?
I
too?
did. We'll get him too. He's got 2 new
Is,
songs, both about the Raptors.
Is Cliff Fletcher going to be there?
Only if we don't serve draft beer. 'Cause
Hey,
if we
Cliff,
do,
Cliff, we'd like you to pick our beer. Maybe in a ranking system.
Green Diesel. And that's it.
I feel like we could do this. We need a venue that would amount to that many people. We need to. I don't even know where. First off, I don't know how you take donations for that. I don't know how you sell tickets for that. I don't know where you keep the money for that. So it's like safe and everybody knows it.
Adam, all we have is an idea and a song in our hearts. And I think we can do it.
So the point is, it's the Steve Dangle Let's Outsell the Tampa Bay Rays fundraiser.
Yes.
Scholarship fund. The Steve Dangle Podcast Let's Outsell the Tampa Bay Rays scholarship fundraiser.
Two-packed.
Two-packed. Okay, and
Award of Excellence.
do we try to do this?
Montgomery Burns.
Do we do this like? do we do this end of? Well, I'm thinking like end of summer, early September, so people are back from vacation, right?
Training camp.
Yeah, like just before the season.
Yeah, and
Just before training camp would be good.
Yeah, 'cause school.
yeah, and
I'm in.
we could do $1,000 scholarship that night to somebody because that's when your book bills are hitting, right? And you're at least $1,000.
Only
in books.
1,000?
Well, like we'd
Why
start.
not 2,000?
Well, we could do
Why
a couple.
not 10?
Well, I don't know if we make that
Yeah,
much
no,
money.
I don't think
Why not 20?
Again, I don't know how much money.
Why don't we send someone to Harvard?
Yeah.
Why don't we open up a school?
Let's do it.
Yeah. LeBron James did it.
Yeah.
Steve,
And who's he?
Why can't-
Didn't even make the playoffs this year. We're a city of champions. Anything is possible.
Except for Kawhi ever re-signing again. If you're watching all the basketball stores, it's or the shows in the States, it's all Clippers or Lakers. Where's
Yeah.
he signing?
For sure. Even though the Lakers, didn't they make a trade not knowing how the league works? I'm so glad to see
The
that it's-
Anthony Davis? trade?
Yeah, because if they can delay the trade until July 6th, they save about $4 million on the cap, and that'll open up another max slot. But
They didn't do that.
They just forgot.
But the trade isn't official yet because you officially can't make the trade until like July 1st or whatever. But it doesn't look like he's gonna delay. He's gonna take his money.
Brad
So
Treliving
they
is
might
the
not have the
GM
extra
of
max
the
slot.
LA Lakers.
Yeah,
Whoa.
they might not have the extra max slot.
Would they still be able to get Kemba Walker?
They can do other things to make room to get that extra $4 million. Like they can trade for a bunch of second-round picks.
Who is
going to
play on the rest of their team?
Right now they have 3 guys, so we'll see. Vince Carter might be one of them because he'd be a veteran exception, so he wouldn't count as much against the cap.
I was kind of hoping
Max
he'd sign in
Slot.
Toronto for a year.
Yeah, you
Like
think
if
so?
Kawhi stays, it'd be nice to have Vince on the bench. Like he's not going to play much.
Right.
No.
Like,
Yeah.
but anyway,
He's gonna have fun in LA.
Did you guys see the? This is horrible, and we'll get to hockey soon. I swear.
All
Did
right,
you see
hold on. We're opening up a school.
We're,
Right?
we're not opening up a school. No, this is a total aside. But did you see the Jeremy Lin finals highlight reel that they put together?
Oh, yeah. Pulling up his armband.
Right,
running.
so
And
good.
then almost missing the basketball. And, I don't know, man. Sorry. No, we would like to do this event. This is
The
we
school we're
we
opening.
just literally came up with this now. We don't have any plans in place. If you have any leads, hit us up because it'd be a lot of fun, I think. And we could stack it. We could have some people there.
Yeah.
If you do music but it's acoustic guitars.
No.
No.
No music. Don't do it.
No, because then if we do acoustic guitars, then it's like any dick at a house party.
Yeah.
And then it's lame.
Just drop the
But
music
what if it's
thing.
at
Plays Wonderwall.
Rico?
No,
course,
that is
everyone knows
we're just
Wonderwall.
selling a concert, Adam. That's not fun. That's not us. If we're
gotta
trying to
do it.
outsell the Rays,
We gotta do
we
it.
can't bring in a ringer and be like, all right, so we're outselling the Rays, but it's actually just a Born Ruffians concert. That doesn't count. They're too good.
Alexis
sell
on
it.
Fire will be there.
So
Serena Ryder.
what if Shawn Mendes opens up? for us?
Shawn Mendes.
Think we can do 6,000 fans?
Only if he, like, in the middle of every song, in between every song, goes, "Welcome to the Steve Dangle Podcast, School for Two-Pack," or whatever we decided to call it.
First annual award for achievement in the field of excellence.
Montgomery Burns. Only if that happens.
Yes.
Only if. And Alanis Morissette. How did we forget? Adam, call your mom. We need to have your mom perform
What would
for
she
our
do?
podcast scholarship.
Can your mom open for us?
Ironic. She would do
Ironic?
ironic.
I don't understand.
Her song.
Oh, her song "Ironic." Oh, I see what
Yeah.
you're saying. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And your other mom can host it. She presents your musical mom.
Right.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
I'm glad you're on board with this now.
Okay.
So this is our first show without any games to discuss. I'm just
Well,
realizing.
no, we got lots of
Yeah,
stuff.
there's
We have
tons
a
of stuff.
ton of information.
So we're doing this? Should we try?
I'd love to.
We're
I
doing
just
a
don't know
version
how.
of that for
We
sure.
should try.
Well, I'd love to.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know how we would do it. I think the biggest challenge is the venue. Where?
That's it? Yeah?
Like that's got to be it. And then beyond that, I think you could figure everything else out. But I honestly I think what for the Budweiser stage? I think it's like $15,000 to rent the venue because corporations do it, and then you got to guarantee you can sell 3,000 seats.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
But I don't have $15,000. So
Well, how many 6,000-ish seat venues are there? Or just halls in Toronto? I'm sure there's plenty.
This feels like a discussion that would be better suited for a barbecue. Sorry, meeting, Jesse.
I don't know if there's anyone out there with 6,000 people venues. It doesn't have to have chairs. We can make people stand.
Standing, moshing,
I don't
going
know.
nuts. That's the closing act, by the way. It's just your baby on stage saying nothing and people losing their shit and moshing.
Does that really get to come?
if she's, I mean, dude, I don't know. The thing now is that you're never sure if they're okay, and they're okay for a couple hours, and they start crying again, and then you feed them, and then you have to burp them for half an hour, and then they go back down, and so you're at that point, I think they'll sleep 5-6 hours in a row. So yeah, why not?
Every time she burps, we give another scholarship.
Yeah,
Does
well,
she get
you'd
the
be able to hear
little?
it.
She get the little headphones. The
Oh,
little baby.
We
headphones?
have those. I bought
Oh,
them.
you got them? Yeah.
Yeah.
Leafs ones.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
like she's riding a riding mower. It's so cute.
Yeah.
When babies look like they're riding a riding mower.
I think it's important.
I think so too.
I think it's important. Okay.
Boy, we have been around the world and back, folks.
What's not
20
important
minutes.
are the NHL awards last night because you've already seen the results, and we could tell you the results, and you'd be like, "Yeah, I already know. Thanks."
Keenan Thompson made fun of the Tampa Bay Lightning, and it was great.
What's important here is who Jim Matheson voted for.
Oh,
Actually, it's not who he voted for; it's who he did not vote for, which are any defense or goaltenders.
Which
All-star votes for those positions. All-star votes for all positions thrown out. All rookie and trophy votes counted. So Jim Matheson did not make any selections for defense or goaltender.
so it was thrown out.
Yeah.
So Greg Wyshynski, who I know all of his colleagues love for sure, right? Mm-hmm. He never pokes, never kicks the beehive. No, you would never. Wish would never. Was basically like, listen, we made it crystal clear what the criteria were, and people still goofed it up.
Didn't Ovechkin get voted once for like a center or something like that?
Oh yeah,
or...
and there was something to do with Draisaitl was voted. I think it was all 3 forward positions. He was like the 8th best center.
Well, you can just look it up, right?
Yeah, or like I don't know. There's got to be. Maybe they got to send out, or maybe they already do this, a sheet that just says, "Here's what this player is eligible for."
Right.
It's mind-blowing. But there were a number of controversial takes on the ballots.
Well,
I love that they released them, though.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. I don't want to get into the controversial takes because who cares
No?
It
at
was,
this point? No, like, come on.
in 2013, the Professional Hockey Writers Association gave Washington Capitals star Alexander Ovechkin 2 spots on the NHL All-Star team roster as a first-team right wing, a position he played throughout the season, and as a second-team left wing, a position he played throughout his career.
The NHL's the best. It's just
This
Well-
led to Taylor Hall getting snubbed
See,
from the
here's-
second-team left wing.
Do we throw out lefty, righty, right wing, left wing?
yes.
You just pick play.
Yeah,
just
we do.
Wingers,
No,
wingers,
because
and D.
the coaches haven't thought like that yet.
No, but I mean,
Interesting.
yeah, okay, fair. I guess it's just I don't give a shit what side he plays on. Just put him on the All-Star team.
You're a wing. Yeah.
You're a wing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, does it matter?
Could even just have forwards and D. Like
Yeah.
forget
I'd-
centers.
Why not?
I'd love that.
Make it all centers.
Yeah.
Like if it warrants it, maybe it's all wingers.
Yeah. Could you imagine a center gets picked over a winger that doesn't that doesn't deserve it? That's kind of shitty, right?
What if the
Right.
second best player in the league is a center, but because the first best player in the league is a center, they don't even make the first All-Star team? What? Come on, just have it be the 3 best forwards and 2 best D. Why not?
That would be
so we
simple.
can avoid this literally annual discussion about how writers can't follow instructions. We know we can't. That's why we became writers. Listen to me saying we.
No. The next time one of those writers says, "Hey, did you actually read my article?" You can point to their PWHA things and go, "Did you actually read the guidelines from the PWHA?"
No, you did not. No, you did not, which is why...
Except for the ones who did.
You just acted a fool and it was hilarious because Andreas Janssen received a second-place vote for the Calder.
Wow.
What?
Someone thought Andreas Janssen was the second-best rookie in the entire NHL.
Did they
last
find
year.
who it was?
Yes, he said, I can't wait to find out what Leafs homer voted Andreas Janssen the second-best rookie in the league. And he found out today that writer was from the Boston Herald.
Really?
Yes.
And those votes are done before the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. It was pretty wild.
Wow.
Pretty confusing. Miro Heiskanen, I think, was left off 38 ballots
Jeez.
for the Calder. It was a very interesting year. There were so many Leafs on the Lady Bing. That was the Leafs thing. Woohoo. Woo. That's all they got. And Morgan Riley finished 5th in Norris voting.
5th?
I think he did, yeah.
Oh, yeah, because he didn't even make the top 3. Yeah, I always forgot.
Which was kind of shitty. I thought he at least
Yeah.
deserved a top 3 this year.
I thought he should have won.
It was weird to me that, okay, Mark Giordano was probably the best defender in the NHL last year. It's weird to me how unanimous it was.
It's weird.
I didn't listen. He was great for sure. He should have won for sure. But everybody except for 5 of you thought he was the best. That's a little strange to me.
Is it sometimes just easier to go along with it because it's not that Mark Giordano doesn't deserve it, but do you feel sometimes it's like, you know what? I'm not even going to fight that. Like, he's been pretty good, and why fight it? Like, that's not the hill I'm going to die on.
I don't even know if it's fighting it, though. It's just you all felt...
That's what I mean, though. Like, somebody that you trust sets that opinion, and you're like, you watch a few games, you go, yeah, I can see what they're saying. And then you go, click. Because none of those guys really get to watch a lot of games. Like, if a local writer told me that they watch more than 25% of their games out of market, as in their team games, I would call them a liar. There's no way that's possible.
Yeah, I agree.
So you sort of have to go with what the other local writers are saying, which makes a lot of sense. And that's why it can matter when a name catches fire in a particular sense in terms of like Calder Trophy voting. Because you always talk about in the first 3 months. Remember when Clayton Keller went on that heater to start off the year and everybody's like, wow, he's walked away with it. It's over. It's done.
Nope.
No.
I don't even know if he was nominated.
I think he was. I think he was still nominated.
Doesn't
matter. At that time, a lot of people weren't watching Coyotes games. No, they couldn't score a goal. Max Domi had 5 goals that year. But
he went on a heater like in the middle of them losing their first 19 games or something like that.
Yeah, so people were like, wow, that's pretty good on a bad team.
Yeah.
Go with that. Cool.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
And Thomas Chabot didn't get any of that.
No, exactly.
Usually they go, well, one bright spot. And people just went, it's too gosh darn fun to make fun of the Sens.
What do you make of Frederick Anderson finishing tied for 10th in Vezina Trophy voting? And he only receives 1 third-place vote.
And he didn't get a single second or a single first?
No.
Okay.
He's behind Bobrovsky, Rene, Price, Kemper, Binnington, Fleury, Leonard, Bishop, Vasilevsky.
So I went, Darcy Kemper, and then I went and looked at his numbers and went, oh, holy shit. Speaking of people not watching Coyotes games, 55 games played and 925 save percentage.
Darcy Kemper had a damn good year.
Was San Jose's goalie.
They win the cup. Like
twice.
In a walk. Yeah, twice. Like,
now,
and the LOB.
I want to take
it away from the Raps.
I want to take that sentence and put it in 2018, 2017, 2016.
Yeah.
You go, Steve, Adam, Jesse, you're fucking nuts. Darcy Kemper and the Sharks. Yeah. They must have a great team up front.
And he had a good year. It was either last year or a couple years ago as like the Kings' sparingly used backup. And all of a sudden he was like a lion's share of games starter for a not that great team. It was very confusing. But okay, this is how you know recency bias is really plays into it though. Frederick Anderson was awesome all year, basically. He had a rough end of the year when everyone had to submit their votes. Mm-hmm. So he plummets all the way to 10th. Mm-hmm. Marc-Andre Fleury was 4th. He was almost nominated for the Vezina with a 913.
That's because of his playoffs last year.
Yes.
2 years ago. Not even last year, because last year's already done.
Top 5 Vezina candidate last May. 13 months ago, he secured a spot in the top 5
for the next season.
Vezina question. Why are we rewarding Vasilevsky for having an incredible team in front of him? Louis Domingue, who's his backup, went 21-8.
Yeah, with trash numbers though.
He went 21-8.
He did.
I think the team is good.
I know, but man, there were a few games where Vasilevsky really did steal the show.
To be fair,
I wondered that. Believe me, I wondered that.
I've watched like 5 Tampa games all year during the regular season.
Even against the Leafs, there was a game where the Leafs were clearly the better team, and Vasilevsky just stole the damn show.
So we have no complaints about him winning.
No.
Okay.
No. I mean, Bishop would have been good. Yeah. No.
Who only received 2 first-place votes. It was almost a sweep by Vasilevsky.
Leonard was pretty good, but like again, Bishop and Leonard like just didn't play enough games, in my opinion. I don't know.
All right.
It's tough. They're 3 good nominees. Fleury 4th. What? That's no one watches Vegas games either. Apparently, they think he still plays for the Penguins. That's terrible.
I don't know, man. Don't get it. I also don't get.
Listen, he was fine, but like a Vezina?
I also don't get why we care. Again, I always go back to this. They won. Good for them.
Yeah.
Is it odd that Freddie Anderson finished 10th? Yes.
Is it odd that more people thought Johnny Gaudreau should be the Hart Trophy winner than Connor McDavid?
Yes.
No.
Oh my God.
What?
Johnny Gaudreau had 2 first-place votes. Connor McDavid had 1.
Okay, again.
1!
This is my point. I said this.
There are some
Connor McDavid, as I said last year, is the Hart Trophy winner. It doesn't matter that they didn't actually give it to him. Connor McDavid is the most valuable player to his team. Like, can anybody dispute that?
Wait. There's like, what is it, like 175 people, something, roughly, get to vote?
Yes.
One of them thought
170.
Connor McDavid was the best player in the NHL?
Yeah. And Adam's argument every year is he's the best player every year.
For his team.
For his team.
Especially given his team.
Here's how they head into that ballot, by the way. They see the Hart and they go, okay, well, it's not McDavid. So, and that's how they start.
Yeah.
They go, well, okay, other than McDavid. I wonder if
I think they're too afraid to pick McDavid year after year.
I wonder if it makes them
like we're gonna
feel like they look lazy.
It's like finding a band that it's you know, if you say you like Nickelback, like Ian Tulloch. Ian Tulloch likes Nickelback. People go, hey, what genre of music do you like? And Ian Tulloch says, well, I like rock music. Who's your favorite band? Nickelback. It's not even rock. It's crap.
Yeah.
Well, no, Nickelback is rock.
Yeah.
It just isn't rock that you like.
Yeah.
And well, what band do you like? Well, it's my friends down the street. You see, they're playing a club. They're young and energetic, and man, they'll blow your mind.
For sure.
And meanwhile,
for me, that was your band.
Connor
every time you played in
McDavid,
a
Connor
church basement.
McNickelback is selling the most records in the world.
So someone likes him. Despite all evidence that he's getting rocks thrown at him in Portugal.
All I'm saying.
Still a hilarious video.
Connor McDavid is the Hart Trophy winner. It's Kucherov that won it, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, Nikita Kucherov. I hope he feels good for himself. He had an incredible year.
I hope he feels good for
but
himself.
let's be straight. Nikita Kucherov was not the most valuable player to his team. Period. You can't argue it. It's inarguable.
It's
inarguable.
Best player versus most valuable.
If you want to say best player in the league, I might even go, hey, yeah, you know what? Nikita Kucherov was the best player in the league this year. But that is not the definition of the trophy.
That's the most valuable player in the NHL.
To the team. To his team.
No, in the NHL.
No. The Hart Trophy's to his team. Most valuable player to his team is the wording.
I will tell you again.
If they've changed it.
Darcy Kemper.
Give me a
Hart.
moment.
If they've changed it, then Kucherov, yes. But I'm sorry, on a team loaded with Stamkos and all those guys.
Jordan Binnington.
Versus what McDavid has.
It's just 3 goalies every year. The Hart's just the Vezina now. That's what they
really
make
what it should be.
Yeah. It's the Hart is the Vezina, except it's like the Jack Adams, where it's your team was supposed to be
bad.
Shite, but you carried them. Award of excellence. Montgomery Burns.
The Hart Trophy. The Hart Memorial Trophy is an annual award given to the player adjudged to be the most valuable to his team.
Thank you.
In the NHL.
Edmonton, you were robbed. No. Connor, you were robbed. Nikita Kucherov, congratulations. I don't begrudge you winning. But if there was a best player in the league award, which there should be, and that should be the Wayne Gretzky Award.
I think that's Ted Lindsay, I guess, technically. Because that's the one voted on by the players as the most valuable.
Oh, okay.
Right?
So maybe if there was a...
Kucherov.
That's what I mean. They're still looking for a Wayne Gretzky Award. To me, it should be either most assists or just straight up who the writers and fans think is the best player in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And that to me makes the most sense. I mean, they're arbitrary awards anyway.
It'll be a Leaf every year.
So it'll be a Leaf every year.
The most
Justin Bieber wins the Wayne Gretzky Award for being the best.
Do you know how easy we can have like a vote for
BTS wins?
BTS wins all of them. Write-in votes. Jimin from BTS.
Yo, whatever. My vote's for V.
TheLeafsNation.com, Editor in Leaf, Pension Plan Puppets, and our podcast all get together and decide that Tyler Ennis is going to win the Hart Trophy.
Not the Hart, the Wayne Gretzky.
The Wayne Gretzky, sorry.
That's right.
The Wayne Gretzky Trophy.
I bet we could get something started.
1 vote out of Edmonton was for Keith Gretzky. But we can't find out who. We can't trace it back. We can't figure out who it was.
Who is this man who voted for Keith Gretzky?
I don't even know.
The first annual Wayne Gretzky Award for Outstanding Achievement in the Field of Excellence in Hockey.
Montgomery Burns, Tyler Ennis.
That's what we'll call it.
Medicine Hat Tigers.
You know, guys, last episode, and I knew this was coming. I knew it was coming. As soon as I said it, I'm like, oh, I'm going to get screwed on this quote. But I stand by what I said. The question to us in the press conference was, who do you think will be the cover athlete for EA Sports NHL 20? And I said, I really don't care.
Yeah.
And it's great that it turned out to be Auston
And now
Matthews.
that national hero Auston Matthews is on the cover.
International
Yeah,
hero
you
to
got
you,
really
sir.
screwed on that one.
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy for him, but I still don't care. Again, it's like, okay, listen, I care about how the Leafs do. I care about why Edmonton continues to screw up. I care about what's going on in Philadelphia because it seems so anti what they should be doing.
Yeah.
I don't really it doesn't affect my life who's on the cover of that game. You know what I mean? But I'm happy for him.
People were saying we don't know anything about the Flyers, and I'm like, well, we said what they're doing is bad, so I don't think we're that far off.
Well, my thought was we don't know the Flyers because they're doing the opposite of what they should be doing. Nobody knows the Flyers. Nobody knows what the Flyers are doing right now. We'll get into that.
Paul Holmgren's a friggin' GM.
Yeah, they're nuts. They're nuts. But it's pretty cool, and it was interesting to hear because of course they asked him about Marner in the interview, and he said,
Did
"I'm
they?
confident a deal will get done." Is the quote.
He said that about Willie.
And did a deal get done? Deal got done.
Eventually, for Christmas. It got done. Hooray.
He didn't say when. He just said he was confident a deal would get done.
I mean, a deal could mean a trade.
That's true, actually.
They call those
pretty
deals.
open-ended there.
I saw a really good tweet about NHL 20. Don't add any more features. Don't add any more game modes. There's really good game modes in the game right now. 3s is wicked. 1s is wicked. I really like EASHL. A lot of people like BGM. I haven't played it in a while. Make sure the game works. Make sure the game works, especially online. Make sure the friggin' thing works. There's too many glitches in it. Don't add any more game modes. We're good. We're good. It is a thorough game you can play forever and ever. Amen. Make sure the thing works.
We were thinking about something in the studio at Virgin this morning.
Making our own game.
No.
We're gonna make our own game.
We were thinking about playing a game. We call it Outsell the Tampa Bay Devil Rays 2-Pecked.
No,
and
call
it's a
it
video
NHL
game
Hits.
where you have to start a podcast and run it for 6 years. Hopefully, get to the point where you can get 6,000 people in the same room together.
Yeah.
It'll be like a
that's the game.
Facebook game, like Farmville, except it's you running a podcast,
Yeah.
and you're like,
Hey guys, I'm growing my sponsors.
yeah. All right, so
Excuse me,
go,
I'm watering my pizza.
go to this meeting. Guys, shut up! I'm going to a meeting. That's Panago. And then you get some more sponsors, and you keep going. Eventually, you sell an arena that's 6,000 people.
Oh shit! I accidentally hit add a Bachelor segment and lose a lot of listeners. Oh no! Oh, my fingers slipped.
If I
How do
save
I
up- if I-
undo?
If I save up enough coins, I can buy myself a Chris Johnson for an episode.
Ooh, do I want to add video to my podcast?
Whoa!
That'll expand us.
By the way, Chris does these podcasts for free.
Oh,
I'm
yes.
just throwing that out there, but he'd be like
Yeah.
a bonus add-on character, is what I mean by that. I didn't want anybody to
microtransaction.
I didn't want it to get it confused. Yeah, he's a
Oh, no.
microtransaction.
Yeah.
It's
for
like
sure.
Super Smash Brothers Melee, and like his outline appears and woo, 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 and you have to defeat him in order to unlock him.
You guys, did we just come up with our next idea?
Yo, man,
Where
it's
we
a-
all have to beat
yo,
up Chris Johnson.
SDP. Yes, that's what I was going
Here's
with.
how we raise money. We make it into an app, but it's a free freemium app.
It's a freemium
Yeah.
game where you gotta do
And
a lot
all
of
the money goes to the
microtransactions.
Steve Dangle Podcast, outsells the Tampa Bay Devil Rays Scholarship Program. 2-Pecked.
Outstanding award for excellence to
2-Pecked.
Montgomery Burns.
D1K. Don't be a D1K and download this game.
I'm just trying to picture CJ's special move. He throws a microphone and it hits you and comes back. It's like a boomerang. He's like Scorpion from Mortal Kombat.
What is he fighting? This isn't a fighting.
It's Super Smash Brothers Melee. What are they fighting? They're just trying to prove who's the best. That's what it's all about, Jesse. It's a ridiculous game. I'm going to go home and play Switch. Wait, no, I'm not. I'm going to Richmond Hill for a book signing.
Tonight?
Yes, and hopefully people come because I put the wrong address.
And you're going to Vancouver tomorrow. Well, of course you put the wrong address. That's so perfect. Wow. Who told you? How'd you find out?
I found out in an Instagram comment from someone like, hey, see you there. By the way.
Wrong address.
Shit. Yep.
Okay. Well, good luck. And you're going to Vancouver tomorrow for the draft?
Yeah, mad early. Mad early. I'll probably be in Vancouver by the time a lot of you listen to this.
Great.
Oh,
Woo! It's
quick
gonna be fun.
turnaround.
It's going to be great.
And I'm
Yeah.
going to meet that dog. I'm gonna meet. Brewster Santa Severus Bronson,
That's
the
a great
golden
name.
doodle who looks identical to Iggy.
That's a great name.
Like literally, first order of business. See a golden doodle.
You got to meet up in Granville?
I'm gonna probably go to Granville Island. Have a couple wobbly pops there, Jesse.
Yeah. Spicy boys?
Crispy
Yeah.
boys. Crispy boys.
Spicy boys.
Once.
Yo, hold on. But are Fridays are Fridays when you have crispy boys, or are Saturdays when you have crispy boys?
I think I'm on a non-working vacay there, bro.
Oh, okay.
Every day Saturday?
Yeah, every day is Saturday. Am I right?
When you're a tuber, bro.
Yeah. When you're
Smash that like button.
smash that like button. And then Panago.
Whoa. Are you doing a meetup? You're doing a meetup there?
Yeah, Regal Beagle. At the Regal Beagle on Saturday night.
What time?
Saturday evening. It is officially from 4 to 6. We did an Eventbrite thing for tickets.
Is the Regal Beagle in downtown Vancouver?
It is, I want to say it's in Kitsilano. I don't. The address is on my Instagram, and that one's right.
Okay.
That one's right. So we did an Eventbrite tickets for that. Over 200 people are coming.
Fun.
Yeah.
Does the venue know this?
Yes.
Okay.
Over. So the event I think is officially from 4 to 6, but I plan on being there a lot longer. So if people leave, I think they're going to do like day of tickets. I've already had some.
If you
people
get
ask.
4,500 more people, you'll outsell a Tampa Bay Rays game.
Oh my God! We're just gonna completely mob a tiny Leafs bar in Vancouver. For
Is
no
it a
reason.
Leafs bar?
I think it's known as
wicked.
like the Leafs bar. I don't know if it's like officially that. I think just a bunch of Leaf fans decided to be like, we own this now.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So that's going to be mad fun. And I'm going to go to the draft and I'm going to see Mitch Marner traded live in person. And it's going to be wonderful. It's going to be really great.
I got in a lot of shit with the shittier end of our Islanders fandom today because I've evidently, and this is something that I've just been sitting on and waiting for. After Tavares left, Anders Lee was made the captain of the Islanders. And I thought it was interesting when I was looking at Cap Friendly that he's a UFA at the end of the year and didn't have an extension. And I kept waiting. I thought before the playoffs started, because they were on such a high, right? Fans and, you know, they were in like first place and they're doing really well. I thought there would be an extension announced then. To me, going into the playoffs, your captain, the guy, your emotional leader, the guy who said before last season, right before last season, what's your favorite quality in a teammate? And he said, loyalty. Evidently, extension talks for Anders Lee hit a snag-a-roo.
Adam, you know where they value loyalty? Chicago.
And Chicago evidently is very interested, so I retweeted a Black Hawk Up article today.
They might be getting Joe Pavelski, too.
Yeah, I know.
What the hell?
Yeah, it's crazy.
The cap. It continues
They don't have
they don't
a
give
cap.
a shit.
No, everybody wants to help Stan Bowman out.
It's awesome.
But I retweeted it and I said I can't wait for Isles fans to burn Anders Lee's jersey. And then a couple of them started being shitty, so I started to be extra shitty back, which I shouldn't have done. Oh, I was fucking dunking on them left and right, and then I was like, and then later on I went home and I held my baby, and I said, and I looked into her eyes and I thought, is this the most productive thing I could have done with my day? And the answer is no. Although it felt good to own those particular fans, I'm not going to lie.
Did you own the libs, Adam?
I own the fucking lips. No, I'm kidding.
You own the fucking libs?
Well, that's what typical Adam. The comment section is always full of, damn it, Adam, with his owning the libs. So sick of it.
I'm a lib and I came here to be owned. I can't even fight it anymore.
I'm not owned. I'm not owned.
So I do feel bad. And actually, you remember the young woman in the Islanders video that said, you were our captain
With the orange and blue lip.
So somebody tweeted her picture and I retweeted it. And I said, Anders Lee, you were our captain. And it was a joke, right? But then she tweeted me and she was really nice.
Oh, she did?
Yeah. She was really
Wait,
nice.
the girl in the video?
Yes.
No.
The girl in the Islanders
You're lying.
video
No,
tweeted
I'm not.
No freaking way.
Yeah, I'm not. She's got her own YouTube channel.
I didn't.
Her name is @IslesGirl3 at Kim M.
That's a good name.
And I would like to publicly apologize to Kim because I understand what it's like to love a team and love a player that much. And so I took down the tweet, and she was so fucking classy. Like, she was so fucking classy. She was really classy.
Fucking classy.
She was so classy about it, and she's like, I hope both fan bases chill and enjoy their summer or whatever. She still believes that Tavares lied to them. And
Fine.
Islanders fans will carry that cross.
Yeah.
Respectfully, we disagree. We've seen too much of it in Toronto. Again, I don't think New Yorkers are used to it.
Oh, okay, it's funny thinking of the prospect of Vanderslee leaving the Islanders.
It's-
but part of me is like, hopefully he signs, and it's for a big old bunch of money so that they have less to play with.
Yeah. Well,
They lost Andersley. They offer Sheet Marner. Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
right? So anyway, I wanted to shout her out. But I do find it extremely funny that Andersley could leave, and I was just trying to be glib about the whole thing. I mean, come on, it's a little bit funny, right?
Oh, it's very. Listen,
Adam, you should
whenever
keep your
bad
mouth
things
shut.
happen to the Leafs, I'm very aware of how funny they are to everybody else.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Anyway.
people are loving this Marner shit. Loving it.
The SUV parked at the Brooklyn, like the Islanders games in
Yeah,
Brooklyn.
the sponsored car that they have in the corner.
It at Isles White
Signed a contract.
Isles
extension.
White SUV tweeted me and told me I'm fucking stupid. This was 28 seconds ago. So
I
it's
don't
got
think that's the
it's got
official
6,000 followers. So
I hope it's the official account.
It's not.
But I wish it was.
But here come the crappy Islander fans. Anyway, shout out to her. She was very classy, and I was most definitely not.
Adam,
I was a pig in shit.
the
And that was-
the lesson here is never tweet.
Oh,
yeah,
100%.
I need to stop, but I don't. But I need to.
Next up on Adam's timeline, frogs are turning people gay.
Yeah.
no, that's not.
No, it's the draft picks that are turning the frogs gay.
That's what it is.
Ah.
That's what it is. And for those of you who don't understand that reference,
That's an Alex Jones
we're
reference.
making fun of Alex Jones.
Okay, so here's the
Who
deal.
is a crazy man.
In all seriousness,
is
contract talks
legitimately-
between Andersley and New York Islanders have come to a standstill. Blackhawks interested. Evidently, Wild interested. Now, Jordan Eberle's contract is an interesting one. We didn't hit that last show, and that's an oversight on my part.
It's a good one.
It's a really, really good contract. 5 years, $27.5 million. Jesse, do you mind bringing up Jordan Eberle's numbers and Kevin Hayes' numbers on Hockey DB?
Oh,
because
Jesus
Kevin Hayes,
Lord.
you know what?
funny.
I'll bring up Kevin
That's
Hayes'
a
numbers.
I have
terrible.
them here.
I have Kevin Hayes here.
Terrible contract.
Amazing.
We'll talk about that in a second. Just give me last year,
Yes.
what did Jordan Eberle produce?
Jordan Eberle played 78 games, scored 19 goals, had 18 assists. That equals 37.
Yeah. Not awesome.
Not awesome.
Playoffs,
Playoffs.
had 4 goals in 8 games, 5 assists, 9 points in 8 games in the playoffs.
And I want to say the 4 goals came in consecutive games against the Penguins.
He's
I
a-
think he scored in every game against
Like
the Penguins.
I hate the term, but he's a big game player.
Yeah.
He
Well,
just never
and-
gets to play any big games in the NHL, or hadn't got to.
Right, wearing blue and orange. What were his previous 3 seasons point totals?
Point totals 17-18, 59, 16-17, 51, 15-16, 47.
So he's pretty much money in the bank.
He's trending downwards, however.
Yeah, well, no.
Well, he trended up and then sharp spike down.
He's money in the bank for better than he did last year.
Eberle?
Yes.
I
For
think
this
so.
upcoming year,
He's
I think
going
so.
to get more
Yeah.
than
Well, wait.
37 points.
he had a
Yeah.
down year.
And he's gonna get at least 20 goals and at least, I would say, 45 points.
That's fair.
That's the kind of player he is.
And I don't think anybody complained about that contract when it was signed. It was interesting. But
What,
it
with
is,
the Oilers?
Yeah, well, you mean the Oilers?
Wait, no, sorry. What are you talking?
Well, I'm talking about the Islanders.
Oh, this one. No, it's good. And also, we took inflation in mind,
Yeah.
right? Man, we were wrong about the Draisaitl contract. Like, just full stop. We were wrong.
Yeah.
And we were wrong for the right reasons, though, I think. No one that had Draisaitl's production at that time was getting that deal. Mm-hmm. It was high at the time. And the great thing about these long-term contracts is they reveal themselves over time. You notice the bad ones pretty much right away. The good ones sort of take a while because everyone goes, well, let's see. Draisaitl is a free agent today. we're having
10 million.
Do you know
no
off the top
more
of your
than
head?
that. He's
I
getting
mean,
11.
Like, yeah. Oh yeah.
As
it was
a
his
center who scores goals, just came out
Do you
with
know
a
off the
50 goal
top of your
campaign.
head how many points and goals he had?
He had 50
Yeah,
goals.
50 goals.
108.
Flat. How many assists?
55.
You nailed it.
Hey,
That
wow.
was a shot in the dark, though.
You need to learn how to do math.
Apparently.
He knows how to count
Sure do.
or remember something that someone else counted.
But we'll remember how many points Leon Draisaitl had.
Yeah. I didn't
So-
remember, I guess. No, but anyway, so what I'm saying there is Eberle's contract is fine, and it's going to get more fine as time goes on, I think.
Yeah.
Because he's not an old guy. He's sort of in his prime, and he'll be coming out of it at the end, but inflation will go up.
And interesting, he's
Time
one of
goes
those
on.
guys from like the 2008, 2009 era who didn't fit that style at the time, and the more the game has evolved, it's fit him more, right?
He's a good player.
The thing with Eberle was like, well, he's kind of small. That was what they used to say about him.
$5 million or whatever he's making.
5'5".
5'5". That's a second line scoring winger these days.
Anders Lee
Yes.
wants 7 years. The problem we don't know about Anders Lee is the problem with Anders Lee is how much is he worth. Now you look at what Kevin Hayes just got because it's a direct comparable. Anders Lee got 51 points last year, 28 goals, 23 assists. The year before with Tavares, he had 40 goals and 62 points. Kevin Hayes last year got 54 points.
How
So
many
if you're
20
trying
goal
to
seasons does Kevin Hayes have?
Kevin Hayes has one 20-goal season.
So
He has 25 goals once.
I believe that's as many 20-goal seasons as Zach Hyman and Kasperi Kapanen.
Okay, so if you're looking at goals, Anders Lee, based on the comparable of the Kevin Hayes deal, and goals are harder to get than assists.
Yes.
Anders Lee's worth more. Anders Lee is worth more than 7 years at $50 million.
Kevin Hayes' deal, it's such an outlier that I think what you got to do as the Islanders, what Lou Lamoriello's got to do is be like, listen, that's not a comparable. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't think you look at Kevin Hayes and look at
Well, but
anybody
Anders
else.
Lee would be like, no, I'm sorry. That's what he got.
Yeah.
And that's what negotiation is.
That's the tough one. If you're his agent, you go, well, the current market's been set. That's what it is. But with the recent news about the salary cap, good God, that's a terrible deal. That's a terrible deal. That's your... I mean, he has to be your second-line center for that amount of money.
Kevin Hayes?
Yes. And for that amount of money, he has to
he's
score.
a right winger.
He's got to have the season he just had every year minimum. Like, that's got to be a down year for him. For 7.14, I think it was.
Well, it just goes to show, like, anybody that listens to the show, if anybody listening to the show thinks that William Nylander's contract's bad, have a look at his 2 full seasons, and then have a look at Kevin Hayes and tell me which is bad.
Nylander starts next season as what he was before this weird little half season. His deal's a bargain automatically. Automatically. And it's only going to get better as time goes on because he's young and inflation is going to it's going to be to the point where, like, by the end of these deals, second liners are going to be making double digits.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or maybe not, because we had bad news about the salary cap and there's going to be a lockout. You know.
Don't say that.
Dude, there's not going to be a lockout.
Might be a lockout.
What year would lockout be?
I want to say 2 years from now?
Could we outsell the Tampa Bay Devil Rays on a lockout year?
Us just playing video games. Yeah. Me not passing to anybody. Yeah.
Could we outsell
You went to that video game tournament in Philly for NHL 19.
Yes.
More than 5,000 people?
No.
No?
God,
Okay.
no.
Really?
It wasn't like a spectator event.
Oh,
Really?
it was a
okay.
TV event.
It was a stream. Yeah.
Oh, stream
event.
event. Okay,
But
okay.
you could, you could definitely have, there's been big audiences for
Yeah,
video games.
but I want to know if the one you went to. But no.
We could talk to the Leafs and have it at Scotiabank Arena. I'm pretty sure. Let's do it.
I don't think so.
I think
that
so.
arena is busy 300 nights a year. I don't think so.
More than that.
Not if there's a lockout.
Anders Lee,
Less
though.
than 300.
Let's get back to Anders Lee for a second.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Let's refocus.
Brock Nelson got $6 million a year forever.
Yes.
Brock Nelson had 53 points last year. Anders Lee. So Brock Nelson's deal, because of Kevin Hayes, now looks like a steal.
I know. Like
Which is
that. It took a
insane.
week.
It's insane.
It took a week.
If you're Anders Lee, what's your number? You got to be 7.5, right? You got to be asking 8, hoping for 7.5, right?
What do you score this year?
He had. Oh, hold on. Let me pull it up. Do you have it, Jesse? Anders Lee, hockey DB.
He was a 40-goal scorer with Tavares?
Yes, 40 goals, 22 assists the year before. This past year, it's in the 20s, but I don't have.
It's 28 goals, 23 assists, 51 points.
So I mean,
Coming off of 40
a bit
goals
of a dip, but a bigger role, and you don't have a world-class center passing you the puck all the time,
Right.
And still performs well. Like Anders Lee still performed well after Tavares left
I think he gets 8.
from the Islanders.
That's a
8
lot.
per.
If he's in the open market, I would agree. I don't think the Islanders are giving him that. You think the Islanders would give him 8?
I think he's asking for at least that, yeah.
Well, because here's the problem, though. The Islanders, I don't know that they've got the cap space to do that with all their other
But
guys.
listen, I'm a center. You know I score goals, and I got to deal with the pain in the ass of being a captain. And also, you can't lose another one. Now, I don't know if Lou looks at it that way, because
Yeah.
I'm not sure Lou's blood gets above room temperature.
Nothing bothers that man.
No. But looking at the contracts that have just been awarded, I at least ask for it if I'm him. I certainly don't sign for less than Hayes.
Because Lou's got to sign Robin Leonard, too. He's a UFA.
Leonard's an interesting one. I don't know. I just have a funny feeling. I saw a report that those talks were odd, but I kind of have a feeling Leonard would be willing to sign a very reasonable deal with the Islanders. It's like we talked about a few weeks ago. You're in your happy place. They've embraced you, the team, the city, and you've had success there. After years of instability and obviously some suffering and a trade very early in his career, I think there's something to be said for stability and happy, and I think he's found some with the Islanders. You take a risk whenever you switch teams, right?
You do. I mean, you look at a guy I look at a little bit before, obviously, he got 6, Kyle Okposo. And he signed with the Islanders, right? Or he signed with the Sabres.
Sabres.
He had a good thing going on the island.
Yeah, that was a bit different, but with the injury.
Yeah, but before the injury, though, I mean, I don't think Kyle Okposo, based on the comparables at the time, was ever going to live up to that deal.
Yeah, man, that was $7 million per.
He got
several
the
years
Kevin
ago.
He got the Kevin Hayes deal like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, that's tough.
And I tend to agree with that. Like, you look at some of the other guys that have left, and they're not superstars, and you have that sort of mojo going, and the city loves you, and you're the captain, and like that's a pretty major thing. Do you really think that he's going to get $8 million? And if he does, the Islanders, from what I can see right now, anyway, have $21 million to play with. So you give him 8, you give Robin Leonard. Say Robin Leonard gets 3, because Thomas Greiss is making 3.
He gets way more than 3.
You think so?
I think he gets more than 3.
Yeah.
my
After
God.
one good year?
Yep.
Yeah.
What do you think he gets?
5, 6,
Something around the Ben Bishop range.
5, 7.
Yeah, Ben Bishop was
6'1".
For how many years?
Ben Bishop was the damaged goods contract. Devin Dubnyk was the you had one good year contract, I want to say. So I think it'll be in the 5.5 range for.
Wow.
5, 7 over 3
The term is
years.
harder to read. 3?
5, 7 over 3.
I say 4.
I say
4 years.
So 4 years, about 20 mil.
3.9 years.
4 years, 22 mil.
Fine.
Okay.
$1.
At that point, you give the Islanders something like, I don't know.
Well,
that cuts $15 million off that.
and then they gotta plan ahead for the expiring entry level deals. Bavillier, I think, is one.
Barzal after this season.
Barzal's obviously the huge one. And by the way, okay, I think Barzal, depending on how his season goes, could sign for as much as or more than Marner.
Well, wouldn't you think Point could too?
Braden Point?
Yeah.
Where did he come from?
Well, he's on RFA too.
Well, I would think so, yeah.
Well,
And a center. And scores more goals. Braden Point should be making more than Mitch Marner.
And Barzal is a center, is he not?
yeah, he's
Yes.
a center. But his output's not going to be as high as Mitch Marner's. Because he's not going to be able to rack up the amount of assists that
But
Mitch
he might
Marner
be more
pads his stats
important
with.
to the overall success of the Islanders than Mitch Marner is to the Leafs. And I know that
Yeah.
sounds insane,
If they...
but
if-
the Islanders don't have a Matthews 2.
If they play Barzal as their number 2 center, then yeah,
You know what's interesting?
for the next 10 years or 7 years.
People are jokingly or maybe seriously talking about Marner going to the Islanders in an offer sheet. You know what would cost a lot less money and I think could make a big old bunch of sense is offer sheet Andreas Janssen. Because what they need, I think, is finishers. They get a good finisher with speed. Just Barzal feeding you all day.
Oh, yeah.
You know what makes a lot more sense? The reality that every year we talk about offer sheets happening and then
they
it
never
never
happen.
happens.
Whoa, so this year it might actually happen.
So why do we pretend that an offer sheet's going to come
So
for
you
a
don't think
player?
anything's going to come?
No, because we go through this every single year. It's, offer sheet, and then nothing happens,
Okay,
and
if
there's no
there-
offer sheet.
If there are no offer sheets this year, at some point we have to hold a wake for offer sheets. And we bury them
We'll
on
do
this
it
show.
at the Steve Dangle Podcast Scholarship
Yeah.
Award. We
For
outsold the
excellence.
Tampa Bay Rays for excellence. 2-packed.
Two-packed. Like
Don't be a D1K.
we write offer sheets in a piece of paper,
Yeah.
and we dig a hole and we bury it in the ground.
Or we do
and
a
never
Viking,
talk about it again.
a Viking funeral. We put it on a boat
Oh, and then we fire
and
an
we
arrow
fire the arrow.
and catch it on fire. Yeah, I like
That'd be
that.
nice.
I
I'm
like
down.
We could do
I'm
that.
down.
Out on Lake Ontario.
Yeah, and we get, I don't know, like an archer from medieval times.
We call it Game of
That. I
Thrones.
don't know that those guys are necessarily good at archery. I think
They
it's
probably
acting.
are. The green one is the Green Knight knows for sure.
I had the striped red and the red and black one.
So
That's when I went.
was he the bad guy that night?
No, they take turns. Like
yeah.
Some of the guys were but like during the show, they like turn heel and face.
Right.
Yeah. So it's not like you get the bad guys. At one point, now he's the bad guy, and they turned on him. I think it was the green guy who turned at the end.
Whoa.
And then the white and black knight won that night.
Does
and he
medieval
beat the green
times
one.
exist outside of Toronto?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's-
so people
there are
know what we're
there are
talking about?
locations across North America.
So,
There's
okay.
like 8 of them, I think.
Okay. It's been here for like 25 years.
yeah.
It's insane.
What I had was we were the green section.
Oh, nice.
And the host just kept talking about us like we were knaves. Just, maybe you folks in the green section. Like, what's that smell? Oh, the folks in the green section. We boo! We went nuts, and then the green guy won. And yeah! We lost our minds.
Okay, question.
It was the best.
Did you pay for the upgraded package?
Oh, dude, I was a kid. No.
Oh, I thought you meant recently. No! Oh!
I would love to go to medieval times again.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to eat with your hands. Suck it up.
It was fun.
Oh, but it's like mostly meat. Yet you're not describing anything that I'm averse to. Eating with your hands and meat. I like it.
So
Andersley, 8 years. 8 years, $8 million. That's a $64 million deal.
I don't
He
think
wants
he's
7
getting-
years. So what's his number at 7
It's a
years?
little bit odd that he wants 7 when the team he's on
Well, he
can
can get
very
8.
clearly can offer him 8.
I just don't think that they're going to. It's Lou Lamoriello. We've had experience with that. He'll be like, yeah, no.
Yeah, no. But no, actually. Or unless you're Nikita Zaitsev, then here's 7
Then
years.
here's 7
bud.
years. Anyway, very interesting to watch that. There's some other UFAs we should check in for, and then we'll do a little deeper dive. Well, I guess we'll do the deeper dive on Kevin Hayes. So 19 goals, 35 assists.
Yeah.
I mean, at least the Flyers were able to sign him.
He makes a hair under what Ryan O'Reilly makes. And that guy just won the Selke and Conn Smythe. That is a tough look.
I'm trying to figure out
I know inflation. all
what
that
does
shit.
Paul Holmgren want. And
Does
you put
Philly
Chuck Fletcher in there.
have trouble attracting talent?
No.
Like what?
Do we look back at it as an outlier, and then we don't trust
you-
Kevin Hayes to set a market precedent?
You have to ask, though, why the outlier
hope so.
exists, right?
Somebody
Yeah.
made a bad decision.
I think so. Like, listen,
It's
I
just
don't think
it's
Kevin
a bet, I guess. He's betting on Kevin Hayes to be more than he is.
could be that. I don't think Kevin Hayes is a bad player.
Yeah, first round pick.
Yeah, like and just a solid, I'd say middle 6 center.
Right.
Really good third line, maybe not ideal second line, or can be second line, but shit. Like this is what we're talking about when we say centers make more. Like man, in a couple years, maybe we're not even talking about Kevin Hayes because that's just what we talked about this, right? Mm-hmm. $7 million. If you're paying your first line center, if you're signing today your first line center to $7 million, they're probably not a first line center on a good team. You know what I mean? Boy, I don't know. I don't like it very much.
Just updates on some free agents. By the way, so Artemi Panarin,
Leaf.
Not a Leaf.
Well, no.
Well, unless if they trade Marner, then maybe. But he wants to go to a team that's got a significant Russian population in the city, or Florida. I'm not sure how many Russians are in Florida. I don't really know.
What?
But that's what's being reported.
What would be those places?
So here are the ones that they mentioned.
I don't know.
You know what? That's a really good question. The Rangers, the Blackhawks, the Avalanche, and the Kings are rumored to be on the hunt. Which, really, the Kings? Really? Where? How?
What a weird team.
It is such a weird team. I would put the Islanders squarely. If I'm Lou Lamoriello, I can get Mitch Marner. I think. I don't have the Islanders cap friendly open. Do they have their first? Yeah, they got all their first round picks. Mm-hmm. They could go after Mitch Marner and offer sheet him and give up the 4 first rounds. But if I'm Lou Lamoriello, I'm going, yeah, Marner's great. But how about a slightly older and more developed Artemi Panarin for not 4 first round picks and just money? And if you look at the way the Islanders cap system is sort of set up, I mean, the Andrew Ladd deal isn't the best. But other than that, everybody's under $6 million. The highest paid player on the team is $6 million, and that's a tie between Boychuk and Brock Nelson. And Boychuk's 35, so that deal's not the best either. But if you look at the way their cap is structured, they have the money. And Lou Lamoriello could walk in on July 26th, which is next Wednesday, when this all opens up, and he'd say, listen.
June 26th.
June 26th.
No.
He could say, listen, we may not be number 1 on your list yet. But we're in New York, and we can pay you more than the Rangers. And we have a team that finished first last year. You want to go to the playoffs. You want to win in New York. You saw how passionate the fan base was when Tavares left. You want that kind of passion behind you?
Do the Islanders have a Russian?
Not
one that
Nelson Eberle Ladd, Bailey, Clutterbuck, Zizekas, Komarov.
Speaks it. At least.
Boychuk, Leddy, Hickey, Pulich. No, I don't think so. Not really.
No.
Yeah.
Rangers do. They got
they have a few.
Or at least Russian speakers. I don't know. It's
it's about the community in the city, right? And I know that everybody's like, oh, the Islanders don't represent Manhattan. I get that. Do you think after this many years I don't know that? But it's still a part of New York, is it not? Are they not called the New York Islanders? Right. Can you live anywhere in the New York area if you play for the Islanders? Yeah, I think you can. So I'm going to count that as.
They're going to hate you, and it makes me laugh.
I call that as New fucking York.
Gonna.
Why? What is the every time? No, it's always non-Islanders fans who are like, you realize that the Islanders don't represent Manhattan. I get it, man.
Yeah. Jesse, what's this gonna? Adam's the guy who doesn't give a shit about an umbrella because he's already wet. He just. Islanders fans aren't gonna. What's he gonna do that's gonna win them back?
It's true.
I don't know why they would hate me.
No, and we know the Islanders fans.
No, the majority are great. There's just a few people with bozo names that I'm not even sure are real.
There's a bunch of fan bases. Okay, so I've said some things over the years, generalizing fan bases that I don't feel good about, and I think we're wrong. Vancouver Canucks were involved in that. Oilers. Have been involved in that.
Really?
Philadelphia Flyers have been involved in that. But I think there's a better way to word it. There are certain fan bases. Every fan base has knuckleheads.
Sure. Oh my God, there's some dummy Leaf ones. Holy.
Exactly. And there are certain fan bases where their knuckleheads are worse than most other teams' knuckleheads. The Islanders have some shitty knuckleheads. Leafs? Terrible knuckleheads. Oilers, horrible knuckleheads. Canucks fans have some stubborn, angry knuckleheads.
Yeah. That like to light cars on fire when things go wrong.
Whoa, that's not Canucks fans. Right. Those were the
but they do it with tweets. They light tweets on fire.
That's right.
It's different.
Jesse, see, if I said that, I'd get destroyed. You say it, nothing.
I am saying factual news information.
Do you ever get a hate tweet ever?
Never in my life.
That's so fucking stupid. No, you've never gotten one where somebody's been like, I'm upset with Jesse.
No, never.
That's so stupid.
Never got hate.
That's so stupid.
I'm perfect.
Oh my God. That makes me so mad.
Typical hot person.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
I just, doesn't it make you sick?
I don't like being discriminated against.
On his looks. Don't look shame him,
Don't
sir.
look shame me.
Don't hate me because you're beautiful.
Matt Duchene, another key UFA, number 2 on the Sportsnet list here. talking about Columbus, but it doesn't seem like they've got it sort of down.
Dude, wherever you pick, Matt, pick it. Stay there for a while. Don't complain. Don't talk shit. Put your head down and play hockey,
Ottawa
dude.
offered an 8-year, $64 million. So that's 8 years, $8 million per. Does Matt Duchene get more than that this summer?
100%. 100%.
No.
From
who?
I don't know, someone.
I mean,
it could have been the
outside of
Flyers
Nashville.
last week.
The Islanders would make a lot of sense.
This is the interesting thing.
So would the Rangers, though.
You know, a really underrated storyline right now, I think, is the Montreal Canadiens. They have so many good young players ready to make the jump and a ton of cap space.
Hold on. I have a
I'm
question.
really, man, they might come out of nowhere.
Well,
they might come on
Bergevin's
awful quick.
Wanted Duchene forever.
Yep.
Forever. If you traded Robin Lehner, if I'm Team A, and I have Robin Lehner and Anders Lee, and you're Team B, and you've got Bobrovsky and Panarin, and I offer you Anders Lee and Robin Lehner for Bobrovsky and Panarin.
No. Adam, what are you talking
The
about?
Islanders have $21 million. Are you telling me you couldn't get both of those guys together
Signed.
for $21 million? I think you could. In the
Shit.
island? Like, everybody's just giving this to Florida.
But I think Leonard's going to be available for like half of the price of Bobrovsky.
He's probably just as good.
Yeah, Bobrovsky wants like price money.
He does.
That's ridiculous.
I'm wondering if the Islanders have they not been connected all year? Has it not been said in circles that Lou's really interested in bringing Bobrovsky in?
I'm sure he is. But
But
why?
he probably
Why?
makes the decision to go with half the price and just as good.
So here's the fun stuff. According to this article, again, sportsnet.ca, Panthers, Islanders, Flames, Hurricanes among the teams supposedly being the front runners.
For
Panthers, Islanders, Bobrovsky.
man, there's so many wild card teams. That all the RFAs, the expansion draft being a factor, there's like half a dozen teams that seem to really be gearing up to have like a big free agency summer. And I think the biggest X factor of all, it's funny you should mention the Flames, 4 pissed off good teams. Like those to me are the funniest summers.
Wait, the 4: Calgary, Tampa,
Who won all the divisions? I'm trying to remember now.
Islanders,
Who won the Metro? The Caps.
Caps.
Who am I missing? Doesn't matter. All the division winners lost. You lost. Those to me, the good teams who had disappointing playoffs are always the monkey wrench. I love it, man. I'm excited. I might see some fireworks. I keep thinking like it's 2 weeks down the line. It's tomorrow.
Apparently, the Tampa Bay Lightning are interested in Rasmus Ristolainen. And for the Sabres, the asking price starts at Sergachev.
Oh, stop.
That's what's been reported today.
What a weird player Rasmus Ristolainen is. Like,
I don't know what he is.
well, he's got, again, he's one of those players who has wicked tools. He obviously knows how to put up points. Didn't he put up like 45 points or something like that? He's
But
got
can he
some
play
swagger.
defense?
He's a bit of a dick. But yeah, his underlying numbers are his team gets shelled when he's on the ice.
Is that, though, I mean, he may not be a superstar, but is
it a
that
symptom of the
because the
Sabres?
Sabres are so bad and have had how many coaches in the last 5 years?
right? So he can't handle that workload then, right?
So then why are you spending all these assets together?
Why are you spending all these assets to somehow shove him on the Tampa Bay Lightning, who have no freaking money? They have no cap space.
Tyler Myers is the next free agent, number 5.
Jesus.
Kevin Cheveldayoff said, I would love to start conversation, or Tyler Myers said, I would love to start conversations with Chev if they're open to it. JP Barry's firm, who represents Tyler Myers and the other free agent, Jake Gardner, defense.
He's going to get so much money.
I think
too.
the Canucks will definitely be one of the teams in the mix, but they could make 2 trades for 2 defensemen next week. They have the opportunity in the top 4. It's a team that will definitely be on the list. I wonder if... It's funny because there are rumors now that Nikolai Ehlers could be on his way out in Winnipeg,
I think
which
that's
is
a mistake.
crazy.
That's a mistake.
That's the guy I hang on to.
Yeah.
If Tyler Myers is back at the expense of Nikolai Ehlers,
That's a mistake. And I think the Canucks are maybe going to calm down a little bit on that front on account of they just managed to retain Alex Edler. And that's the first contract really where you've seen discussions of the expansion draft involved, and everyone's really thinking about it now. I think Tyler Myers stays in Winnipeg. And I don't know. I don't think they're dumb enough to get rid of Ehlers.
His
I don't
name
understand.
keeps coming up. It's weird.
I don't understand how that makes you better. And like Laine doesn't have a deal yet.
Yep.
I don't understand how that makes any sense for the Jets.
There are a lot of people that think that maybe trading Laine makes more sense than trading Ehlers. Not because Ehlers is the better player necessarily, but his value at his cap, which is $6 million, is going to be better than what they suppose Laine will want at 7 or 8.
Laine's such a tough trade because if he is what he was,
like he just had a bad year,
even at
and
parts,
it's not even a bad year.
It was
by most player standards, though. That's an outstanding year.
It was a unique year. Very few players have ever scored the way that Patrick Laine scored last year. If he puts up 25 goals and it's like staggered evenly throughout the season, we go, well, he had a bit of a down year, but still 25. It's not bad. It's the fact that he scored, what was it, like half of his goals?
More than that.
In like a 5-game span.
It was 7 in one weekend.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Didn't he have nothing? They went to Finland, he scored a hat trick.
Yeah.
He bring up his game log.
Well,
it's absurd.
I've got his stats here.
Okay.
Just to give you some, like this should tell you all you need to know. 237 games he's played in the NHL. He has 110 goals.
Shit. That's a sniper, man.
He had Kevin Hayes numbers last year. He had 30 goals and 20 assists. So bare minimum, if you're Patrick Laine, you go bare effing minimum.
Kevin
This is
Hayes'
my worst season. I've had 36 goals, 44 goals, and then 30 goals. 64 points, 70 points, 50 points. If I am somewhere in the middle there.
And not a bad playoff.
If I'm a 65-point guy, he had 4 points in the playoffs, 3 of them goals. If I'm a 65-point guy, and Kevin Hayes is making $7 million to be a 50-point guy.
UFA, it's a little different, but yeah.
Is it, though, anymore? I don't think it is.
It's becoming less of a factor.
When you are an RFA on a cash-strapped team, look at what's happening with Mitch Marner. You have almost as much negotiating power as a UFA. When you're an RFA on a cash-strapped team, you got to be a star. That's what I mean. Sorry, if you're a star.
And he is.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he's got all the tools to be enormously big.
In his last 19 games, Patrick Laine scored 1 goal.
Oof.
But what about...
But do you make a trade for a guy like this based on 19 games? Like, I know it seems it's so recent, but it's a 19-game stretch.
It wasn't just that stretch.
Yeah, because before that, then he goes and he has in 3 straight games he scores.
Yeah, go to the beginning of the season. Very, very beginning.
Hold on, let me finish.
Okay, sorry.
In games 61, 62, 63, he scores 2, 1, and 1. So he scores 4 goals in that span.
Goals.
And then he didn't score before that until game 46. So that's another 12-game span.
Yeah.
So if you took out those three games where he scored, you have to go to halfway through the year to find his other 1-goal game.
So go to the stretch where he scored 5 goals, because I think it's all consecutive. I've never seen a season this cold with a stretch this hot.
He scored 3 goals, 2 goals, 1 goal, 5 goals. Then took a game off and then scored 2 goals.
So wait, sorry, say that again. Say that one more time.
So games 19, 20, 21, 22, he goes 3 goals, 2 goals, 1 goal, 5 goals.
That's 11 goals.
Yeah. And then he doesn't score in a game versus Pittsburgh, and then he comes back and scores 2.
That's 13 goals.
13 goals.
And how many games was that?
So that's
6?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 13 goals in 6 games. And then another time, it was another 3-game stretch where he scored 4.
Wow. What a weird season, man. What a weird... That
wasn't great.
I'd say Mitch Marner is the 3rd most interesting restricted free agent. Seriously. Like, it's just because he's a Leaf. Laine and Point are so much more interesting to me. And I don't understand how Braden Point isn't getting talked about, every single day.
It's funny when none of these guys will be offer sheeted.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
They just re-sign with their team.
Yeah.
Well,
because
if you
of
get to, that's why I wait on Patrick Laine, because I don't think he'd get offer sheeted. And if for the Jets, like with all the offer sheet candidates out there, he's not the guy I go after. If the Jets go to July 6th and nobody's offer sheeted Laine, then you sort of have all the cards, don't you? Teams have already spent their stupid money in UFA. Like, that's the thing. That's why it's so frustrating right now. That's probably why we haven't seen more trades, is that we don't know what the salary cap is until draft day. And because of that, it holds people up. It's a problem. But this 2-week window is the best window to make moves. This is the time because people have room. But they have this thing where they have it's like having $100 and being like, I should save 50 of this, but I won't. You know what I mean? You just spend the $100, right? This is what they do. They're like, I have $21 million. I should probably budget $4 or $5 million just in case. They spend the $21 million because I could get that extra little piece, right?
The arguments I've had against the NHL not having a hard cap at the moment are absurd. Why are people feeling bad for GMs? What? But they know to within $600,000. What? What? For anyone who's watched, I think you should leave. Okay, great that they're within a range.
Yep.
No, I don't feel bad for GMs. What's the fucking number?
Yeah.
Are you running an international hockey league or not?
So a number of people tweeted after the show. They were like, what's the difference between 81 and 83?
$2 million. Thanks for asking.
Why are you guys so upset over them not knowing the cap if it's only $2 million?
I'm not.
Difference?
It's just it's if you're, as we said last episode, you should be planning for 82 and hoping for 83, but you're.
I know it might be less than 82.
But GMs are not like that. GMs are just weird. They're just a weird group of people, and they're like, well, I can't make any moves till I know for sure.
And then think of a deal like remember all the Rob Scuderi nonsense between the Blackhawks and the Penguins, and they got to retain X percentage or whatever. Like, how are you going to do, for example, a salary retain deal if you're a cap strap team when you don't know the freaking cap? Like, how do you conduct business right now if you're Vegas? Like, you're trading clout or whatever. Your leverage is affected enormously by a number nobody knows.
But you're somehow over it anyway.
Yeah, and listen, you didn't plan for it. Tough shit. Some people say, all right, but it is a little ridiculous. Can we all agree that we don't know what that number is now?
Yeah.
Well, they know basically what it... No, fuck basically. They don't know what the number is. What's the number? Well, it's going to be between... I asked for one number, not two. There's 31 teams, multi-million, billion-dollar teams. You don't know one number. It's a hard cap. One number. Give me one. You don't know it? Pathetic. It's a minor league. I'm sick of it.
Let's keep going to these free agents here. Jake Gardiner evidently wants to stay. Vancouver is very, very interested, and they should be. Any team should be interested. Chicago Blackhawks, another club to be rumored interested in Gardiner because the cap doesn't exist there. Now, Anders Lee is the next guy on the list, but we've already kind of talked about him. Anton Strawman's an interesting one. Defenseman with 700 games.
Going back to Jake Gardiner just really briefly,
Sure.
Kyprios basically said the asking price for Gardiner is like the Kevin Hayes contract.
Which,
I think 7 years
for Jake Gardiner,
50 million.
based on the current market, makes a lot of sense. And
Well,
I'm actually
somebody will
sort
give
of,
it to him.
yeah,
More
and I'm
than Kevin
surprised
Hayes.
it's not higher. I'm really not.
Yeah.
More than Kevin Hayes. Sorry, Anton Strawman.
Strawman, Tampa loves him. but
700 games, really? What a shitty
Yeah,
trade.
but here's I look at this and I
Oh my
go,
God.
So they just re-signed Coburn to a pretty club-friendly deal. Girardi is still there. It seems like this is the kind of guy that they're going to lose, but he also seems like the kind of guy. He made $4.5 million last year. Seems like the kind of guy that someone's going to overpay for when Myers and Gardner are gone.
Could be.
Someone's going to go, we swung and we missed, and we swung and we missed again. Damn it.
Come back to Toronto, Anton. Come back. Colin Miller and Anton Strawman.
I don't mind Anton Strawman at $4.5 million, but he probably wants to make more. And if he waits for Myers and Gardner to leave, he might just get it.
Sign in Toronto for league min.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Robin Leonard's name came up. We kind of touched on that. Gus Nyquist, pretty tough for the Sharks, and we were going to talk about Joel Pavelski too, and I accidentally skipped him. He's also on this board. So Nyquist and Pavelski are interesting because with Karlsson re-signing, it looks like they're trying to move some money out with Braun, but I don't know. Like, Pavelski's 34, Nyquist is 29. Pavelski had a pretty good year last year, despite the fact that they say it was a down year for him. But 34.
Like, one of the best, if not the best, tippers in front in the entire league. He's just on another planet.
What do you give a guy like that?
Well, if you're Joe Pavelski, you've made a shit ton of money, and how do you look at the Sharks and not go, dude, we're so close?
Yeah.
Like, we can do this. Like, you
got. And he knows the system.
And as the captain, like, I just feel like money is not as big of an issue for him at 34. He wants to win a Stanley Cup, and we talked about it. Every year, you can't predict who the Cup winner is going to be. All you can do as a GM is put your team in range, in punching distance or whatever. The Sharks are in that range. I know they keep finding a way to lose. They keep finding a way to not win the Stanley Cup. But
Raptors did that for a couple of years.
I know.
Yeah.
The San Jose Sharks, in a lot of ways, are like the Raptors.
Except perhaps
previously.
more talented.
Yes, they are. They are.
Than they were until
and
Labs
they made
got
it to the
Kawhi.
final.
Yeah.
But we also look at history, and we know the Canucks.
Yeah.
You can be great for a long stretch and not win.
It's true, but I just don't know where he's going to go that's going to give him a better shot at winning the Stanley Cup than San Jose.
Mm-hmm.
It's not Chicago. I don't think so. Maybe. Man, if Chicago somehow manages to get Gardner and Pavelski, that's a match made in heaven. Gardner loves that floater from the point. Pavelski, tip. Beautiful.
Nashville and Montreal are also apparently desperate for goals, so Gus Nyquist could be on the way there. Ryan Dzingle's another guy that those types of teams are interested in. Teams that are starved for goals. 20-goal, 40-point campaign, pretty good. But as many people have said, he might be the kind of guy where it's like, hey, somebody has to score. Right? When he went from Ottawa to Columbus, he disappeared.
I will say Mark Bergevin's too quiet right now.
Okay.
We're used to him going super silly.
I'm talking about Dzingel here.
No, I know.
Oh, do you think Bergevin would go after a guy like that?
You mentioned Montreal.
Yeah,
and, you know, starved for goals, and
maybe
it's too quiet.
Matt Zuccarello. Apparently they're close. He's a great fit in the dressing room. Both sides want to get it done, but if he does re-sign Zuccarello, if Jim Nill does re-sign Zuccarello, the 2020 third-round pick he gave to New York becomes a first-rounder.
Ooh.
So are you...
God, that rebuild's awesome, man.
They're doing a great job. Jeff Gordon is unbelievable.
Jimmy Altieri. Oh, man. He's unreal.
So anyway, those are some of just the for the free agents. Now, Edmonton continues to be Edmonton. Less so, but they're still on brand. And this is not an effect of Ken Holland. This is an effect of what happened with the Peter Chiarelli, Kevin Love, like whoever else you want to blame for the last 3 years. The 2016 third overall pick, Jesse Puljujärvi, or Jesse Puljujärvi, however you want to. Fourth overall pick, has told them he will not play in Edmonton next year. They either trade him or he plays in Europe. That's what his agent publicly said today. Now, a little backstory on this before you go, that guy's not even a full-time NHLer. What a dick. Who does he think he is?
Oilers fans are very upset.
Well, and he has every right to be very upset.
100%.
That team forced him to play through 2 hip injuries on either side of his body. He had 2 hip surgeries before the season ended, and apparently had been playing through them for months.
Yep.
And the reports are that the Oilers didn't take him seriously. They didn't think he had anything wrong. And then he goes to New York, gets both hips done, and is already working out and ready to go. I wonder, they say he can be had for a third liner.
Like Connor Brown.
Right.
Some people have seen it suggested Jesse Puljujärvi for Connor Brown.
Do it.
And at that suggestion, or if that's the cost, yeah, there it is.
Because Connor Brown is a luxury the Leafs can't afford.
Yeah.
And Jesse Puljujärvi is a guy that they could try to develop maybe.
This reminds me of Nikita Filatov. When he was the 6th overall pick, highly touted offensive prospect, and Ottawa got him for a 3rd round pick. And it was a wicked bet for the Sens to make. Even though it didn't work out, a 3rd round pick for a guy who was picked 6th overall just a few years ago, it's a good bet.
Imagine Nail Yakupov had actually worked out in St. Louis or the Colorado Avalanche.
Dude, I'm starting to think maybe Edmonton's not good at development.
Yeah.
You know what I
Or
mean?
picking.
And people go, oh, well, Yakupov had a chance here and there. Yeah, but that was after several seasons of the Oilers screwing him up.
Do you think that, because the one thing about Puljujärvi, people are like, well, maybe he was picked too high. Usually when you get in the top 5, those guys have the tools. It's whether or not they can put it together.
I remember people were surprised Pierre-Luc Dubois went ahead of him.
Yeah. Yeah, because
and
everybody thought Jarmo Kekalainen, another Finnish guy, let's go.
And he's been great.
Yeah.
Dubois, and that was a guy who we're like, we don't even know if he's a center full-time. He's been great, but I just can't help but feel like the Oilers have really duffed Puljujärvi. And you're talking about trading this young scoring winger
For another
with
Tyrati.
all this potential. And your team needs scoring wingers. Why?
Well, and they said he could be had for a third-line winger. And when
I don't
people,
believe that.
When people
I just
say
don't.
that, no, but when people say that, just as an aside, in a vacuum, a third-line winger on what kind of team?
Right.
Because a third-line winger on a good team,
You get Connor Brown, you go, wow, we got him for a first liner.
he's the first-line winger on their team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have no depth. On the Oilers, a third-line winger is probably not an NHL player.
That's tough.
Not above replacement, anyway.
Maybe that's Ken Holland mission. Like, because it's tough. It's a different.
But if you're Ken Holland, do you even bother? Because it's like, dude, I have so much shit going on. You're the last thing.
Oilers fans, the Oilers fans who are hurt by what Puljujärvi's saying and his agent are saying, need to look at it from his perspective, and I just feel like they're not. They got a new coach, they got a new GM, they got this, they got that. You're just not looking at it from his perspective. The damage is done, guys.
Well, here's Greg Wyshynski tweeted this 2 hours ago. And this is a quote from Jordan Eberle. The Edmonton media can be pretty brutal. Your confidence goes, and this is a game that you can't play if you don't have confidence. It's that simple. It's the Edmonton Oilers and everything around it. When you read articles every day about how much you suck, it's tough. And he did that retweeting Terry Jones, who said Jesse Puljujärvi may be $1 million talent, but he clearly has a 10-cent head. And the agent, not a good combination. That's what he tweeted today.
It's the Shelbyville of the NHL.
And
if you keep it up, you're going to keep drinking turnip juice. Stop.
The weird thing is that we have a ton of very intelligent Oiler fans.
Honestly, they're some of the
listen to the
smartest
show.
fans in the league.
Yes,
like
they have
on
to be.
average, legitimately.
But it's this. It's almost like the fans and the media are completely disconnected. The fans feel one way.
Oh.
And then there's like blogs and that sort of thing, and they're so upset with the media that they have to start their own media outlet to at least give another point of view. And the media seem to be unified on ones like you actually have a reporter lobbying for an assistant general manager to be the general manager. Can you imagine Steve Simmons, Damian Cox, guys that really take a lot of guff here, like guys that really take it hard here,
Take a lot of stick.
They do. Can you imagine any of those guys saying, I want this guy to be the general manager for the Toronto Maple Leafs?
Yes.
Can you? I don't think so.
But not this hard.
No, not like that.
No.
No, and those guys take it. Those guys have opinions that people do not like, to the point where they just don't like them sometimes.
They have some smart guys out there, man. They do. It's just the hot takes. They're too delicious. They're too delicious.
You look at like Jonathan Willis from The Athletic.
Yes. Yeah. It's the conversation I always
That
have
guy's
with my
smart.
wife. I'm hungry. She goes, we have apples. And I go, I don't want apples.
Would you trade?
And then I get chips.
Would you trade Yessie for Chris Kreider?
If I'm who? The Oilers?
Yeah.
Of course. The Rangers? GTFO.
Yeah, no.
That's not enough.
You need a.
You're talking about third liner. I
want one of their, like-
I love Chris Kreider though.
I'd
as a player.
love a couple. Like they've got defensive prospects in Bakersfield that are apparently pretty good. Like Edmonton's not going to be bad forever,
I just worry about
unless
the way
their management team is bad forever.
I worry about the way Oilers fans talk about their prospects, particularly the defensive prospects, because it sounds very similar to how we talked about Leafs prospects like 5-6 years ago. We thought we had all these guys, and we did not. We thought Josh Levo was going to be
Stuart Percy,
the best. Stuart, yeah. And there was another guy who I think was mismanaged, and we got all these guys. Listen, AHL success, the correlation's difficult, and you got to put them in a position to succeed. And we just listen. I know the Oilers have changed a lot, which is great because what you had did not work. We've still yet to see if what you have now is going to work. Like, hold your horses. Hold your horses. Believe me, I'd be excited if I had Connor McDavid on my team too.
So I got another guy I want to move on to just because we are running out of time.
Can I just add in
Please
a couple thoughts?
Sure, please.
On Puljujärvi?
Please.
Sure.
So Yessi is rehabbing from hip surgery, skating, working out with Oiler people, but doesn't want to play for them? That's a question.
Who said that?
Who do you think said that?
Is that NHL by Jimmy?
Jim Matheson is wondering.
Well, Jim, interestingly, with the Oilers, they're bound to give it to him contractually. Weird, right? It's almost as though he's an Oiler.
He tweeted before that. Marcus Leto, that's how you pronounce it, right?
Leto. I don't know.
Marcus Leto says, Puljujärvi wants to play in NHL, so why go back to Europe if not traded? Does he want to play in best league in world or not? How about sucking it up, playing hard on new one-year contract to start 1920 season, then get traded? Or is that too much to ask?
I stick to my guns that this is a long con that has not been caught by his employer. That is not Jim Matheson's Twitter account.
Why does he speak like broken English? Does he want to play
Jesse,
in best league in world?
Me don't know.
Anyways.
Me may never know.
And the Chris Kreider for Puljujärvi and their second was Jim Matheson's suggestion.
I mean, it's better than just Puljujärvi. No, man, Chris Kreider is very valuable. You don't get any question marks for Chris Kreider, I think. And I think Puljujärvi's got enormous potential and could be great for whoever he goes to, but he's still a maybe.
Yes.
More so because of the injury and also his development. Yeah, I don't know. I look at the Filatov situation. And, like, Ottawa was right to take that risk, even though it didn't pay off. But at the end of the day, the team that got really screwed was Columbus, because their 6th overall pick did not work. Mm-hmm. If you pick in the top 10 and your guy doesn't play at least 200 career NHL games with your team, you screwed up. It's supposed to be a slam dunk.
I'd like to move on to this next one. Yes. Corey Perry was bought out. And it's interesting with Corey Perry because people seem suspiciously optimistic, like this is some player with hidden value that some team's going to pick up on, and I just don't see it. I'm looking on Daily Faceoff. You can look at basically their news, right? So it shows the recent headlines that include them. And I'm looking at Corey Perry's thing here. For the last 2 years, it's Corey Perry Ducks have activated Corey Perry, knee, make his season debut on Saturday. That's from February 2nd. And then Corey Perry underwent surgery to repair a meniscus in his MCL, which is in his knee. Perry, knee, expected to return to the Ducks lineup on Saturday. Perry is week to week with a lower body injury. He's taken to a local hospital after leaving Monday's game with a lower body injury. And then you go all the way back. Perry, knee. I'm at 2014 right now. Corey Perry, knee, will decide if he can play during Wednesday. Perry, knee, will decide if he can do it versus the Sharks. And you keep going and going and going. This guy has had knee problems. 2014 was a long time ago.
5 years ago now.
He's had knee problems for 5 years.
Half a decade.
And this is a guy...
Hard miles, man.
Yes.
Hard miles.
He signed that contract, 8 years, 8.625, and you thought, well, it's a lot, but he did score a lot of goals.
Here's what happens. So I think we're going to see more buyouts, especially because of the expansion draft. And Ryan Kessler gets traded to the Seattle team.
Can you do that now? Can you do that right now?
Well, they did it with Clarkson.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going under the assumption he's not going to play anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, just the way the injury was described, you never know. I'm not a medical professional, and I certainly haven't seen his individual case, but it doesn't sound like he's going to play again. The Ducks and every team in the league are really gearing up for Seattle. It's a huge factor. Yikes. Poor guy. I mean, I know he's a pest and a thorn in many sides for many years,
but he was a very effective hockey player, man.
Yeah.
I was just saying, like, I find it interesting that people can, like, given all those headlines, and you can go look at them yourself, these are not, it's not that he's had many, many knee injuries. He's probably had 2 or 3, but they're sustained. They last
big.
for months.
Yes.
These are not tiny, minor things. These are major surgery, tear, rehab things.
And I think, maybe there is a possibility he could come back for a cheap contract with somewhere else just to see what he's got left. He doesn't need to. He's got a cup. He's got Olympic medals.
Yeah, what does he need to do now?
I think, yeah.
Canucks sign Alex Edler to a $6 million a year over 2 years. It's a $12 million deal, and apparently he's got a no trade. And he might even have a no move. I don't have confirmation on that yet.
So the big sticking thing with him is had something to do with the expansion draft. And basically he doesn't want to get taken. And that's another big thing. I think guys are asking for more money because that's their expansion draft clause, right? Yeah.
I was interested with the Edler news because it was reported at the beginning of the week out of Vancouver that, and he's been a guy that's been a pretty big part of their defense for a long, long time. Mm-hmm. Has had some injuries that have held him back, but probably could have been one of the best they ever had.
Alex Edler played on the Canucks with Matt Sundin.
Yeah, right. If it had not been for those injuries, he probably would be among the top Canucks defensemen of all time.
Yeah.
Now, it seemed like their Canuck fans were pretty pissed off to hear that they had hit a snag because they weren't talking. Mm-hmm. And all I saw from Canuck fans, and I found this interesting, and it's because I have no insight into it, right? They seem, well, you know what? This guy's a jerk. Get him out of here. And I thought, is there something with Canucks fans and Alex Edler that I've missed all these years?
I think you might have just... Remember I said every fan base has knuckleheads and some of them are just more vicious than others? The angry Canucks fans are really angry. Really angry. So it might have just been that because I haven't really seen too many negative things said about Alex Edler.
No, I hadn't either. I just thought it was weird.
It was weird.
Okay. All right. Let's do the press conference.
The Presser. SDP. The Steve Dangle Press Conference.
Well, I guess we should say this. A legend in Toronto sports media is leaving.
Yes.
Bob McCown is leaving Primetime Sports.
Is that today or tomorrow?
I don't know. I think he's still on the air today.
Yeah, I got the email during the show, but I was like, what the...
What does it say?
Is
it? First off, are you allowed to read?
Is it a press release?
Yeah,
or
it's a release.
A boss release?
Because they are on the air right now.
Yes.
Yes, sports fans do give a flying fadoo. For 30 years, Bob McCown has been the #1 voice in sports talk radio, sharing his strong opinions and stirring controversy with sports fans across the country. Tomorrow, McCown will sign off for the last time as host of Primetime Sports, so that's Friday, on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and Sportsnet 360. At McCown's request, there will be no fanfare or tributes during his final shows. A pioneer in the industry, McCown was the original host of Primetime Sports when the show launched in 1989.
Unbelievable.
Throughout his 30 years, McCown was the most listened to sports radio personality in the country, and Primetime Sports remains #1 by a wide margin. And the email is very, very long. Large tea, milk, double sugar. That's what I used to bring him every day when I was an intern.
Now,
Sad day.
Sad day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I grew up listening to McCown.
Great. Yeah.
One of the reasons I love sports.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Kept a lot of lights on at Rogers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Be interesting to see what happens here. And he says, according to his Twitter account, that he is not done. He said, I am leaving. He said, okay, I am leaving Primetime Sports and Rogers, but nobody can shut me up when I have things to say. Stay tuned. I'll be back.
Fun fact, he was the first person to ever bring the idea to Canada of just throwing radio programs on television.
Wow.
It was his.
Yeah, it was his idea. He came
No,
up
I mean, it was his show.
It was his show, yeah, and he was the first to ever do it, and it's kind of... That leads to, like, this thing, where we just stick a camera in the corner and record us talking.
That's it, yeah.
You know?
I remember, yeah. I still remember the conversation, like, what, is anyone going to watch that?
All right.
Well, yeah, it's
already
on
on
national television.
National TV, yeah.
Yeah, and sort of like a forerunner of Tim and Sid.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I don't know how to process it, because there was a report on Twitter last night, and I was like, wait, out of nowhere?
Yeah.
And so, as a Rogers employee, and I obviously immediately texted other Rogers employees, and we didn't know. So.
And if you're an American, you haven't heard of Bob McCown.
You might have.
He has I said if you're an American and you haven't. Yeah, there's a chance that you have, but national sports personality, very, very kind of snarly act. Very nice guy, but very quiet in the hallways. And
He's a big deal. He got an exclusive, I want to say, with Tom Brady.
Wow,
It
really?
was like during Deflategate or something like that. It was at a time where no one could get Tom Brady. And I remember being an intern in the office that day, and Ryan Walsh, who was his producer at the time, now works on Tim and Sid, I think.
Now he's just the overall talent booker for sports.
Wow, so he's just moving up.
okay.
He's, yeah,
He's
he is.
moving
He's
on
Moved on
yeah,
up.
yeah.
Jesus. I remember him just walking, like just giddy, like vibrating, like we got Tom Brady.
Yeah.
It was a very
He
big
did
deal.
a couple sit downs with I don't think maybe like 1 or 2, I believe, with Muhammad Ali.
Yep.
One of the best stories is the first time he was fired, or the first or second time. One of the times he was fired by the fan.
He's been fired by the fan?
Yeah,
I never knew
I
that.
guess it was just the one time. Then he was fired by the fan, and then the ratings started to tank, and then they bring him back, and obviously he's like, "I want all of the money in the world.
Yes.
Here is my ridiculous number."
It's happened a couple times at Rogers.
And and then they're like, "Okay, we'll do whatever you say as long as you come back." And then his deal was that he was going to come back for, I think it was like 2 shows. It might have been 1 show. It might have been this absurd. It was 1 show, and then he's going to take a month off vacation. So he comes back and he announced his return. He did it, and then he took a month off.
Wow.
F
Because
you.
he's like, okay, you guys want me this badly. This is what I'm doing. Anyways, yeah. Legend.
Wow. Well, oh,
That
so
was
you're
like
like,
mid-90s.
you want me.
Yeah,
Right.
it's a
Yeah,
bit
wow.
different now.
Yeah, it's a little, that was Wild West radio those days.
That's
But
hilarious.
yeah.
Well, it's when radio was making piles of money. It's funny, like to be in it now, and that those stories have disappeared because the amount of people has disappeared. Like I look at what I was doing. I did overnights in Halifax, and I was talking to the program director of the station that I used to work at, and he said, "You did what?" And I said overnights, and he's like, "We don't have a budget for overnights." He said, "We just don't. It's different now. It's different." And traditional media has really
Right.
been changed by the internet, obviously. And so I think it's kind of funny to hear those those stories with Bob. John Derringer's another one who was big on the fan. Like guys from that era who did crazy shit because it just wouldn't fly today, right?
No.
You just could not do that.
Yeah, and radio was really the place where the craziest shit happened.
Yes.
Because radio's
Yes.
weird in that it's not the biggest entertainment medium, but we're always kind of trying to make the biggest splash. I don't know.
It's
It's weird
the
to
biggest.
describe. Yeah.
The radio is the biggest. 92% of people listen to radio at least once a month.
Yeah.
And that's all over North America. 92%. Television can't touch that. Streaming services in both on both telephones, like the ones that you have on your app, and streaming services like Netflix and Hulu are like 30 to 40%.
But it doesn't come with the same cachet as being on a TV show.
Bingo.
Yes, that's what I meant.
Agreed.
Sorry.
100% agreed. But and that's the thing. Like
Yeah.
it's radio. You have to make noise because no one can see you.
Right.
And TV's funny because you can't fully be yourself. You have to be a version of yourself on television. Radio, you can actually just kind of be you.
It's interesting because everyone talks about, what's going to happen once Don Cherry leaves. I mean, in a way, the Don Cherry of Canadian sports radio is leaving,
Yeah.
even though Don Cherry is on Canadian sports radio with Grapeline. Grapeline on Sportsnet
But it's not.
590
That's
The
like
Fan.
that's a clip. That's not a show. Like I love that they call it a
Yeah,
show, but
that's
it's a 5-minute.
It's
clip.
not. It's not
It's
the
not a
same. No,
show.
Bob McCown, on and off because apparently he's been fired a couple times.
Yeah.
That guy has been on the air since I was 1 year old. Apparently, since before Jesse was born.
Yeah.
And now that time slot is going to be, I don't know what.
I don't know.
That's freaking weird, man. That's crazy. It's going to be fun next time I go into the office. Got a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. Well, best of luck to him, and hopefully it works out great.
Yeah.
That's just that's crazy though. Just unbelievable. Big change. Any questions, Jesse?
Mike Jeffries, PA, that's his Reddit name, has a little trivia for you guys. You'll never get it.
Okay.
That's why it's fun. Of the 204 players who have played at least 50 playoff games in the 2010s, so from 2010 on, who has the highest goals per game?
Since 2010,
Yeah.
it was the highest goals per game.
Minimum 50 playoff games. You'll never get it.
I think it's Logan Couture.
Adam Wild.
I have no idea.
Daniel Briere.
What?
Wow, really?
30 goals in 61 playoff games.
Man, he was so good.
It's unbelievable.
He was so good. When he dropped off, he dropped off. But man, he was so good for a while there. Danny Briere was unbelievable. Buffalo Sabres Danny Briere was fucking unstoppable.
Auston Matthews' favorite player.
Really?
Because he was a Coyote.
Yeah.
He was like the young gun for the Coyote. That, I think it was 06-07 Sabres team was just ridiculous.
Nuts.
It's nuts they didn't win the Cup. Wow.
That's it.
Wow.
That's it. All right.
There you go. Hey, thanks so much for listening. We'll be back next week, hopefully with one Mikhail Grabovski, because he was very nice on the phone and I just couldn't get him. It's tough to connect to Belarus. Who knew?
Belarus. And, I guess we'll see you next show when the league looks completely different.
Yeah. Okay.
Isn't that wild?
Before we go,
Okay.
What happened?
prediction from this weekend.
Oh,
One.
hold on.
What?
We have a package for Steve.
Oh, we do. Hang on, though. Before I give you the package.
You want to do that? Your thing? Okay.
Just give me your predictions. Give me one wacky thing that happens this weekend. You don't have to give me every detail. A player name that moves. Something.
I see Nikita Zaitsev traded in person.
Okay, Jesse.
I think somebody is going to do something.
No, come on.
A trade.
A trade happens.
Yes.
Yes. Between a team and another team.
That's bullshit, man. Come on.
Okay.
Come on.
Let's stick to just Leafs. Who's the most likely Leaf to move?
Ooh. By the end of this weekend, Connor Brown is no longer a Toronto Maple Leaf.
There you go.
Oh, there you go. All right, I
there's a
like it.
take.
I like it.
Is that good enough, guys?
Here's my hot
All
take.
right, there you go.
The Leafs find a way out of the Patrick Marleau deal
They.
this weekend.
All right.
There's
This
one.
weekend, all right.
This weekend.
There you go. And this is your package. Jesse, what's the story behind this?
So, funny story. I no longer work at Sportsnet, but somebody sent a package to Sportsnet. So, long story short, the package got to Bell, where I work now, and it's already open, so you don't need to take your key out.
Oh. Where's it open? Oh.
And then I got it, and the package is for Steve. It is from someone. I don't know because there was no note in the package, but you will enjoy what is inside.
Yeah. This is from the Jersey Finder, who you guys made fun of ruthlessly, you bunch of bastards.
We're really not making fun of him. We're kind of making fun of you.
Yeah, for getting more
Felix Potvin!
You don't need more free shit.
Felix the Cat Potvin!
Hey, Adam.
It's got a stain on it. It's okay. I'm kidding. Man, I'm going to wear this tonight.
Does Steve make money for his ventures?
Well, yeah. I mean, not much, but yeah.
Do you think maybe the little amount of money every once in a while?
If Steve had sold his YouTube...
I did not ask for this!
If Steve had sold his YouTube 100,000 subscribers, what is that thing called? The thing you got for...
Silver button.
Your silver button.
Play
Piece of
button.
garbage. He could have got himself a nice James Reimer doll and a Felix Potvin jersey.
I just think maybe you should start spending some of your own money on your things.
That jersey barely fits. It's amazing.
I just think it's funny how...
We're back.
We're
Because
wild!
we forgot the big thing that you wrote for Sportsnet.ca today.
Yes.
What's the big thing?
It is an open letter. Again, I already know my open letter to Mike Babcock was one of the highest performing items, at least NHL-wise, on Sportsnet so far this year. People like an open letter. And the mood was ripe for a Babcock one.
I liked your Babcock one.
I didn't know if it was ripe for Mitch Marner one, but Adam, let me tell you, people have responded.
Okay, dramatically read through it, my friend.
An open letter to Mitch Marner from Steve Dangle. By the way, my audiobook is available on Audible, iTunes, and also from the ECWpress.com.
If you bring a audiobook to one of your events, do you sign it?
Yes, with boogers. To Mitch Marner. Forward, restricted free agent, Toronto Maple Leafs. Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment, Toronto, Ontario. From Steve Dangle, hockey YouTuber, podcaster, author of Leafs Nation, and from Oshawa, Ontario. June 20th, 2019. Hi, Mitch. Apparently open letters are my thing now. Apparently anxiety over RFA contracts is this fan base's thing. Hey, everybody's got a thing. There are worse things to have, right? Some people steal cars. Some people watch the Kardashians. Some people cheer for the Sens. It's the worst. If fretting over contracts is the Leafs fan base's thing, then it's not so bad. Like I said, everyone's got their thing. Another example. Your agent's thing is tough contract negotiations. Remember the Josh Anderson stuff? What KHL team does Andreas Athanasiou play for again? Not to mention the shenanigans he pulled the day Auston Matthews signed his extension. What the hell was that? It was like the Leafs got Matthews a cake and your agent picked his nose, then stuck his fist in it. And it happens all the time. But like I said, everybody's got their thing. This past week, the Raptors reminded us that winning should be everybody's thing, even Toronto's. The Raptors story was ridiculous. Hell, what am I telling you for? You were there! You saw it! They made some controversial decisions and moves that were heartbreaking at the time. Less than a year later, however, there was a parade. Toronto was the city of champions. Mitch, I know you want to be part of that. Mitch, I don't know if Adam and Jesse want to be part of that. They're on their phones. But Mitch, I know that you
I'm listening.
want to
I
be
am
part of that.
listening.
Look, I'm not bitter enough to say you're not incredibly valuable to the Leafs. You're unreal. Stupidly, ridiculously, awesomely unreal. That goal where you grabbed your stick off of Bobby Hastings like it was nothing, that's cartoon superhero stuff. You should have a cape. Regardless of whether or not you're the best player on the ice on any given night, you're pretty much a lock to be the most fun and most entertaining one to watch.
True.
I'm not so jaded and cynical to think the awesome things you do for fans is an act. By all accounts, you're kind, friendly, generous, and genuine. Everybody has rumors, and everybody has rumors about everybody in this Leafs obsessed corner of the world. Everyone's hairdresser's mailman has heard some inside secret about the Leafs from their second cousin's Uber driver. I can honestly say, after 3 full years of you being with the team, I have never heard anyone say a negative thing about you. Not even once. Despite the fact I make YouTube videos in a room full of toys for a living, I'm not childish enough to look past the fact this is a business. Agents are portrayed as the bad guy, but that's their job. You've worked hard for this opportunity since before you can remember. From being the City News Athlete of the Week, to earning more hardware with the London Knights that you can hold in your arms, to becoming a legitimate superstar for the NHL team you've cheered for since birth. But I know NHL teams are giant corporations out here trying to run a business. And that's it. I don't know who this loyalty guy everybody keeps talking about is, but whoever they are, they died a long time ago. Get yours, dude. You should. But first, indulge me in a visualization exercise. Game 7, Stanley Cup Final. Your team is winning. The clock winds down. The buzzer goes. Gloves, sticks, and helmets fly into the air like confetti. There's a ceremony and speeches. You're handed the cup and you finally raise it above your head. Tell me, what jersey are you wearing? Look, you can get paid anywhere. There's 31 teams who would love to make you rich. You can win a Stanley Cup anywhere. But we both know where it would mean the most to you. And while I have a hard time picturing the Maple Leafs winning the Cup without you, I also just watched 2018 Washington Capitals and the 2019 St. Louis Blues win Stanley Cups in years they weren't supposed to. The Leafs sucked for a long time. You know that. Funny enough, they stopped sucking the moment you arrived. It obviously wasn't just you, but no team wins with a one-man show. Once you arrived and the Leafs started making the playoffs, expectations rose. I'm sure you've noticed. The fan base believes in the team. That's what makes losing so heartbreaking. You've probably also noticed that the mood is changing a bit. I don't want you to think this is just about you for 1 second. Many fans, myself included, have heard the rumors about your difficult contract negotiations and said, well, I guess he's getting offer sheeted, or, well, I guess they'll have to trade him. Just note that the feeling has nothing to do with you. It's just the years of disappointment and frustration. It's the exhaustion. It's the here we go again. I watch hockey for fun, and you're essentially fun personified, but this isn't fun right now. I know if, and hopefully when, you're back in a Leafs uniform next season, it's going to be fun. There's a reason the Leafs got you to help recruit John Tavares 1 year ago. You're the living dream of every Leafs fan.
True that.
You're a winner, man. It's what you do. I think whatever jersey you put on, you're going to win. But winning somewhere else won't be like winning here. At the end of the day, it all comes down to you and your signature. It's your decision. So come win as a Leaf. It's what you were born to do.
Whoa.
Whoa! World star.
Well, hard to disagree. And I gotta wonder, man, if when I tweet about this, when I tweet about Andreas Athanasiou and Josh Anderson's last contract things, Columbus and Detroit fans are like, yeah, we've seen this. We know what this looks like. And what's more, apparently Josh Anderson, when he got into camp, was like, yeah, I didn't really want to sit out. It was my agent that made me. Like, he actually said that, apparently. I haven't been able to find that quote, but I was like, wow.
Well, and the impression I've gotten is, so Darren Ferris, I want to say, was absorbed by like a different agency or something like that. From what I've been told, he actually has a bit less to do with this now. Or there's more cooks in the kitchen, and they, I think, want less to do with the theatrics than he does. So,
oh, he's theatrical.
You know what I'm hoping. I'm optimistic, and everyone's going to thank me for writing this open letter, because Mitch Marner is going to sign an extension while I'm on the plane tomorrow.
Whoa, is that your call?
It's my call.
All right. And with that, we'll see you when the league looks completely different.
Completely friggin' different.
Early next week when there's no trades in the first round. How hilarious will that be?
Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Brought to you by Panago Pizza. Order at panago.com and stuff your face with deliciousness.